Are here.
Well, happy first day of September. And in honor of that, Radio from Hell would like to present to you your September Z word of the day.
Oh, yay!
The Z word of the day, well, it's a phrase, actually. Zepping the beer.
Zepping.
Zepping the beer. It's your Z phrase of the day. That means to leave a small amount of beer, a quarter sip at most, at the bottom of a bottle. I'll use it in a sentence.
Okay.
Why doesn't he just finish his beer instead of zepping the beer? Your Z word of the day in honor of September.
I do.
Let the sun beat down upon my face. Stars fill my dreams.
You can count on us every day in the month of September to present you a Z word of the day.
Are there that many Z words? There are a lot of Z words.
There are a lot of Z words.
There are that many Z words.
Now, you zep your beer. If you're a zeppist, you zep your beer. You leave that small amount
Yeah.
for the ghost of John Bonham. That's why.
Oh, I see. It's tradition.
Yeah, sure.
Right, yeah. It is. Hey, listen, I feel bad. I don't have $1 million to donate to the hurricane. Everybody is donating $1 million.
All the cool kids are doing it.
I mean, the list grows and grows. Yeah, I'll give $1 million. I'll give $1 million. That's amazing. Mm-hmm. It's Donald Trump had to jump on the bandwagon, of course. I think I could find $1 million. I'll donate $1 million, my personal fortune. I mean, it's great that people are doing it.
Yeah.
I feel bad. I have the text 90999. I got $10. That's what that's how much I could do. But
See, and I do that, and then Twitter starts shaming me for giving to the Red Cross.
yeah,
Don't do that.
Yeah.
So I feel bad.
People have had have had an axe to grind against the Red Cross forever, and it goes way beyond. They were bitching about the Red Cross during World War II. Well, they're doing this, and they do this, and they don't do that, and it's.
No good deed goes unpunished.
But they continue to chug along, and they do provide services to people.
They're usually the first people there. They help a lot of people.
And and then I heard, I heard J-Mac in the News Attack. He's talking about we just have to remember that people are more important than pets in these situations.
What? Why? That doesn't need to be said. Why are you?
I don't know. I thought, what? Yeah, okay, fine. That sounds about right. What? You're going to do 2 hours of a show on that? Oh, go ahead. All right. So, what do I know? I don't know anything about radio. I don't know what I'm doing.
He is awful.
Yeah. Well, he may be right.
It
I don't know.
must be said. No, plain and simple. They are family members. You take them with you.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Well, I mean, yeah, you try, and I guess people are angry that there are so many.
I mean, if you have a Spider-Man-like scenario where Grandma is hanging off something.
She's had a good run.
Take the dog.
She's lived a good life.
Take the dog. Leave Grandma on top of the car. A Cajun in a flat-bottom boat will come by and rescue Grandma.
Right.
Don't worry. Right, so.
Grandma's had a good run.
You said she's grandma.
Okay.
If you just said daughter, I would have maybe given a different story. But
She's still young.
she's still got a few years in her.
All right, let's. Well, this is just the part of the show where.
Yeah.
Actually, for me, it's the entire show. I never know what I'm doing, but we're just sort of dinking around here. Let's.
We'll start the show after these with your check-ins.
Check-ins, yeah, 877-602-9696. It's an idea that Kerry and I had years and years ago that we stole from a radio genius named Len Allen.
Yes.
And we did it early in our career, this check-in feature, and people hated it back then because it's so awful. And so we decided to resurrect it.
Because we're dumb that way.
Yeah. 877-602-9696. Call and tell us what you're doing today, how you think your day is going to go, and a random caller will get Snowbird Activity Pass.
That's very nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so random scenario. You have a choice to save Grandma or your diamonds. What do you save?
Whoa.
You can get more diamonds at Diamonds Direct.
Well,
Just
okay.
get some new diamonds.
Particularly during their most incredible diamond offer ever. It's happening at Diamonds Direct. For a limited time, you can get 5 years, 0 interest on any diamond purchase. And And they have more diamonds and more engagement ring settings and wedding ring settings than anybody, certainly on the Wasatch Front.
Yeah, a lot of times you'd go into another jewelry store and you'd try to buy a loose diamond, and you'd have like 3 to pick from. They have dozens and dozens and dozens for you to pick from.
So again, it's 5 years, 0 interest on any diamond purchase. So what does that mean? Well, you get, how about a $6,000 engagement ring for only $100 a month, no money down.
That's great.
$100, and then it's in 5 years it's paid off. You haven't paid any interest on it. Or $3,000 diamond eternity band, only $50 a month, nothing down. It's Diamonds Direct. Don't miss this incredible sale. It's a 6400 South, right across the street from the Fashion Place Mall.
Attention local bands. Broadview Entertainment Arts University wants to put you in their state-of-the-art professional...
From hell every morning. Alternative music all day.
X96.
Let's begin the show officially.
Is it
now.
time?
It is time.
Time to officially begin the Radio from Hell program, and then we'll get to your check-ins. I haven't checked the phone bank. Are the lines full?
No.
So call 877-602-9696. Don't miss your opportunity to be a part of the least popular feature we have ever done on the Radio from Hell show.
And possibly win Snowbird activity passes. And Snowbird's annual Oktoberfest is here. Enjoy classic German beer, food, and music every Saturday and Sunday, including Labor Day through October 15th. Get all the details at snowbird.com.
All right, the moon is waxing gibbous. On its way to full. It's right now at 78.5% of full. We'll have a full moon on September 6th at 1 in the morning. The moon will rise today at 5:14 p.m., today being Friday. It's the first day of September in the year of our Lord 2017, and this is National Chicken Boy Day. Chicken Boy.
Chicken Boy?
Yes, it's National Chicken Boy Day.
Chicken Boy Day.
Every year on September 1st, I'm sure people know this. I probably don't have to tell you this, but people across the United States recognize National Chicken Boy Day to honor, Chicken Boy, 22 feet tall, holding a bucket of chicken, a fiberglass statue of a boy with a chicken head stands along Route 66, named after the former 1960s Chicken Boy restaurant.
He has a chicken head?
Yeah, he's a boy
With a chicken
head.
He's not holding.
He doesn't have a boy's head. He has a chicken.
It's human body.
So it's a human body with a chicken
head.
and then
Eating chicken.
Yeah, he's holding a bucket of chicken.
Cannibal Chicken
That's wrong.
Boy.
Chicken Boy Restaurant. Now it was also known as the Statue of Liberty of Los Angeles, and he stood along Route 66 for years and years and years. Then it finally was removed and is in a museum somewhere. But it's National Chicken Boy Day. Right here. And this is, of course, the nation's most immutable radio broadcast. It's Radio from Hell, starring the Lords of Morning Radio, Kerry Jackson, Bill Allred, and Gina Barberi. The senior executive producer of the Radio from Hell show is Richard, where was I? Stedman. Dylan Allred is producing video for the show. And Nick's your buddy, Nick's your pal. Rat Fink Davis is, he's late. I think he's going to be here, or maybe he's here by now, but running late. Coming up on the program, lots of September activities for you. Particularly, we will have a travel brigade.
Yes.
At 8 o'clock, and they'll talk about traveling to the various Comic-Cons around the country.
And then fan-related travel.
Geek festivals.
Yeah.
Things like that. All right. Let's see. Let's begin the check-ins with Derek. Hello, Derek.
Derek, my friend.
Good morning.
Good morning, Derek. You sound rather chipper today.
I am. Thank you for letting me listen.
You're welcome. Do you have some extra chip? Because I could use some. I'm not chipper.
Yes. Well, for me, I'm heading to North Dakota. I'm on my way right now, and then we're going to turn around and drive down to California to Disneyland.
Wait, North Dakota's nowhere near California.
Yeah, it's the other way.
That's why he said he's going to turn around.
Why go all the way to North Dakota and then
gas up?
Well, we have some friends up in North Dakota, but I do have a question for Carrie. Where is the Radio from Hell logo in Disneyland?
There's not a Radio
California
from Hell
Adventure?
logo. There is a Geek Show logo, and it is in the lake in California Adventure.
Okay, I'll have to look for it.
It was hidden there by fans that are also workers there.
And is it underwater?
It's underwater.
But you can see it.
They say you can see it. I have not been able to find it myself, but they say that you can see it.
They had a sticker and they stuck it on there somewhere.
It was something. I don't know what.
All right.
I've yet to find it, and they're not being too clear about where it is.
because they don't want to get in trouble?
Yeah.
Derek, there's also a Radio from Hell logo in North Dakota.
Yes.
What town are you
I will
going
make
to?
sure to put one.
What town are you going to? No, there is one in North Dakota. What town are you going to? What town?
I'm going to Bismarck.
As a matter of fact, it's in Bismarck. No, wait a minute.
Oh.
No, I'm being told that there's a Radio from Hell logo on a Bismarck pastry, and that's here, and it's here in town. Never mind.
Easy mistake.
Thank you.
Bismarck, the only state capital named after a pastry.
All right. Thank you, Derek.
Thank you very much.
All right, we'll see you. Rory. Hello, Rory.
Rory, what's up?
Just heading into work. How are you guys doing?
Doing okay. What's your work today? What's your agenda?
I am a metal worker, and I'm just going to try and get through the day before I head to Colorado for the long weekend.
Well, Rory, I'd advise you to get a new phone while you're on break.
Am I cutting out again?
Yeah. Again, you
see,
see,
are we the only ones that have this problem with you?
No.
Are we the only ones who will tell you that this is a problem?
He said no. So Rory, you know that you have kind of a crappy phone, right?
Well, the stupid thing is brand new, so I'm actually kind of frustrated.
Well, take it back.
Take it back and demand your money back.
So throw it at the...
take it back.
No, don't incite violence like that. That's terrible.
Gina's anti-phone.
I actually just might be getting incite violence. I had that thought of my own.
All right,
okay, we can't talk to
I'm
you.
anti-phone, not anti-fuck.
Anti-phone.
That's what I said, was anti-phone. All right, Rory, thanks.
Thanks.
Bye-bye. Let's see. Ogden shut in here. It's Friday before a long weekend. If you just walk out of the studio, I'll leave work too.
Well, that's quite a promise.
Your friendly neighborhood homeless donut man Ben checking in. Still
Ben.
homeless, sleeping in my car. Woke up at 5 a.m., really had to use the bathroom, so I drove to a gas station, and now I'm just awake sitting in my car waiting for 10 a.m. where I can go shower and change my clothes.
Ben, what happened? I thought we had some phone calls that were going to help you get into a place. Jim says I'm not checking in yet. I'm waiting for a more popular feature.
Yay.
Check in on a more popular feature.
Boners are coming up.
Yeah, check in then.
Check in then. Hamburg, friend of the program, checking in. I should call in one of these days. Is that possible from an international number?
877-602-9690.
Sure.
Cupcake checking in. No need to try. I had no idea it was even Friday.
Good Friday morning, lords and lady. Vicky and Angel checking in. We're not a rival morning show, just BFOP.
Oh, now here I was wondering about this. Yes. I was going to ask about this. It says here, your friendly neighborhood homeless donut man Ben checking in, still homeless, still sleeping in the car.
Yeah, we just read that.
Oh, did you?
Yes.
I'm sorry. I was looking at something else, and I must have not quite heard
That's
it.
That's why I was asking why. I thought we found him a place. I just said that.
I'm sorry, Kerry. I was messing with something here in my news. What the hell, Ben?
Yeah, I didn't we sit?
Did we not set him up somehow?
I thought we did.
Ben,
okay.
call us, Ben, if you get a
let's
chance.
figure this out. Let's go to Cement Dave. Hi, Cement Dave.
Good morning, lords and ladies.
Good morning.
How are you guys doing?
All right, what's up?
Not so well, apparently.
Oh. Well, there is some good news on the horizon.
What's that?
Brewvies won the lawsuit against the state of Utah.
Yeah, we'll talk about that coming up in the news.
I need to know what the deal is with that. What are the ramifications? Yeah. I'm curious.
And but the bad news is they're not going to let you buy dog food with hemp in it for your dogs.
Oh, darn.
Yeah. So
really?
State of Utah's banned hemp and
Were people sneaking and eating their hemp dog food?
There is a whole. They're smoking it.
That's ridiculous.
Smoking dog food.
Hey, man, roll me some dog food.
All right, Dave. Thank you. Let's see. Natalie checking in. I work at a hotel right off of Foothill, and I'm so glad that it's back open. Foothill is open now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, the 215 ramp there.
Mm-hmm.
Dave checking in on my way to Swiss Days in Midway to sell my board game. Please give me 50+%.
Now, see, be specific. What's your board game?
He invented a board game. He mentioned it earlier, and he never got back to us the details of what the board game was.
It must be a Swiss board game. Must be some Swiss-themed.
Must be. It must be.
It's the only thing you can do at Swiss Days.
The tokens are chocolate, and it's based on a cuckoo clock.
I bet.
Garbage Gus, living the dream, picking up trash, checking in. TV news photographer from St. Louis, Tawna.
You can't read the rest of her.
Please.
Hoping nobody yells.
Wait, where is which one?
Hugger in the party at me today.
What?
Well, when you're a news photographer, people try to get swear words on the news.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Because she runs the cameras for the TV. First time checker-inner. Give at least 50%. I've been up since 4, and there isn't enough coffee in the world.
Well, I've been up since 3.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Let's go to Eddie. Oh, Eddie. Hi.
Yo.
Yeah, Eddie, what's up with you today?
Hey, I am headed to West Jordan to plumb a bunch of new construction sites. Could be doing it for about 15 hours today.
All right.
I just want to let you guys know I appreciate you playing the Tim and Eric excerpts every morning. That stuff cracks me up. just makes my day.
I'm not
you
playing.
Guys do whatever you can.
I'm not playing new stuff yesterday and today. You're gonna get some new stuff on Tuesday.
Did you know that Tim and Eric is that big among plumbers? They love
Number
Tim
one
and
with
Eric.
plumbers.
They love them.
You know what? Yeah, me and all my buddies, all my plumbing buddies, we watch that stuff all the time.
All right, great.
All right, thanks.
All right, good luck with the elbow joints.
Happy plumbing.
All
Good
right.
luck with the grease trap.
I guess we have to try today.
All right.
Although right after the show, right back home to bed. Mattress Firm.
Mattress Firm mattress. They're happy.
Yep.
So let me tell you this about Mattress Firm.
They're good people.
They really are, and we have mattresses and beds that we got there. But right now, in light of what happened in Houston, Mattress Firm would like you to know that they're donating $1 million in product to people who need it, and there will be a lot of people who need beds and mattresses and all of that. Plus, a portion of every purchase made in any of the Mattress Firm stores, Wednesday, that's August 30th, through this Tuesday, the 5th of September, they're going to donate a portion of proceeds to make up an additional $1 million worth of pillows, blankets, and mattresses for people who've lost their homes and have to rebuild.
You can help out by shopping there this weekend.
Yeah, so no, if you want to make a donation through Mattress Firm, you can. They'll accept monetary donations that will go to the American Red Cross Hurricane Harvey Relief Fund. Donations can also be made online through their website.
That's easy.
At mattressfirm.com.
Oh, I forgot.
Oh, oops.
Traffic, do you have any?
Looking good.
All right, that's all we need.
Brought to you by Strong Volkswagen of Salt Lake City. You get 100% lifetime powertrain coverage. Your factory powertrain warranty becomes a lifetime warranty. Online at strongvw.com.
The music starts at...
Lionel Elgin, our friend.
Baseball announcer.
Baseball announcer extraordinaire.
I've had people asking me about Lionel. What's happened
to him? The season started again, and he got another job. He announces baseball on radio stations, and
he keeps getting jobs because he's really good at it.
He is excellent at it. He's very colorful. He loves the players, is the thing. He really, really, really loves baseball players. Really.
Yeah.
A lot.
You'll see what we mean.
This is the latest tape he sent me. He got fired again. And this is what happened. This is the last one that he was at. Here you go. You tell me if he deserved firing or not. I don't know.
So we're set to go here in the third. And what a beautiful day for baseball it is. Like a day in the park, folks. The athletes like cuddly little pets, frolicking, running, jumping, chasing, and retrieving balls. Furry, fuzzy fellas. So here comes Davis now, 0 for 1 today, flying out to right in the first. Notice the way Davis likes to sway back and forth, foot to foot at the plate. First offering from Lee, fastball strike in the outside corner, 0-1. And as Davis teeter-totters back and forth, one can't help but notice the up and down motion of each cheek of his finely toned hind end. Like two pistons in a perfectly timed machine, lubed with oils and perspiration for maximum viscosity. Lee set now, kicks and fires, breaking ball low, 1-1. They call it the show, folks, and no wonder. Davis very muscular. Also, one of the unfortunate individuals involved in the steroid controversy, being questioned by league officials. Of course, Davis denies it. The 1-1 pitch, just inside ball 2. I don't personally know much about steroids. I know in most cases they're taken via hypodermic needle. And I'm of the opinion, folks, that if a player wants to stick something in his hind end or have a fellow teammate poke him in the rear, so be it. Who are we to judge? If it helps the game, bend me over and stick it in.
And see, then that's when they went to commercial at that point, and
they fired him.
Then they fired him.
He doesn't get it.
Now, was it his comments about steroids? Is that what the problem was?
That must be it.
Yeah.
You know what
he sounds pro-steroid. And...
You know what the problem is that he needs a color man.
He does. He needs someone in there with him.
He's doing it all by himself.
He needs to do the play-by-play.
I mean,
he needs somebody to do the color.
I think he's capable of doing... Well, he does both, I think, perfectly.
Yeah, he does both, but he needs to...
I'm going to continue to send these to Larry Miller, and hopefully we can get him hired for the Bees, because
You just like him in town.
Yeah, I think he's an excellent announcer.
I think we got enough of his kind in this town.
It's time for big boy news and opinioendo, brought to you by.
Why does the sight of a trail guide make us reassess our career choices? Because Wyoming is still filled with adventure. That's why. Find out if you are too at travelwyoming.com.
Thank you.
Well, there's just I'm just trying to get these things organized here. This is so. We'll start with this. I think the big news of the day.
All right.
This really is just a huge story that Dancing with the Stars has selected their very first candidate or contestant. It's pretty exciting news.
I haven't heard
Big news. Well, the first. Okay, you ready? The first contestants for season 25.
Sure.
For Dancing with the Stars is Drew Scott. Drew Scott, everybody. Drew Scott.
I know.
This is this is most people. Now, when I read that name, I don't have any idea who it is. Now, when the description, and I'll let you say who it is, Gina, because I know you have so little that I'll let you, that you can do it. But most people, if I say Drew Scott, celebrity, Dancing with the Stars, a star, people go like Carrie. Who that? Huh? Who that? Who that? Who is that? It is Gina. Gina knows.
He's one of the Property Brothers on HGTV.
Okay. Oh, okay.
They're twins.
But which one?
They're so Jonathan.
Drew. It's Drew.
Is he the
So
construction?
Drew,
or is
no,
he
he's the real estate
The real
guy.
estate one. Well, I like the construction
You're
guy
like Jonathan.
better. Yeah, he's better looking.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, there are.
He is actually. That you joke.
It's symmetrical of his face.
And his hair's a little longer.
Slightly different.
And he shaves more often. Now, there are still people out there going, now who is that?
Property Brothers.
What? Yeah, who's that? Who that? HGTV. What's that? There are plenty of people. He's a celebrity, a star. And the good news from Texas, you know, we've had bad news, bad news from Texas, but thank God Texans can now legally carry their swords and spears out in the open.
Really?
How do you conceal a sword?
In a scabbard. You ever heard of that?
But can't you? But you can still see it.
A new open carry law goes into effect. You don't know if it's a sword. It could be a salami. What's that? It's a salami. Unsheath that salami. An open carry law goes into effect in Texas on Friday, but it has nothing to do with firearms. People will be able to carry openly throwing knives, spears, daggers, swords, and other blades longer than 5.5 inches. That will now be permitted in many places thanks to a new law.
Because this is important.
It is. Well, there are a lot of...
The Constitution says I can be dumb.
Gina, there are a lot of sword enthusiasts out there. All right, now...
it's the samurai capital of the world.
Brewvies. Federal judge has sided with Brewvies,
right,
facing a revocation of its liquor license. They were for showing Deadpool. In a ruling handed down Thursday night, U.S. District Judge David Nuffer sided with Brewvies and made a restraining order against the state permanent. The restraining order says, stop harassing Brewvies.
Nice.
State of Utah, you may no longer harass Brewvies.
Nice.
Because they've done it before.
Yes.
They hate the idea
Brewvies,
that people can get a beer and watch a movie. They hate it.
Brewvies paid a fine.
Yes,
as a matter
they
of
did.
fact, they kind of knuckled under.
Yeah.
The first time this happened, and I forget what movie was it. That Zach Galifianakis and
The Hangover?
The Hangover.
Yeah.
I think it was that.
Might have been that.
Because there was some little bit of nudity in that, and there was some dirty stuff in it. So the first time, Brewvies knuckled under, paid a $10,000 fine. This time, they said no. And with the help of Rocky Anderson, former Salt Lake City mayor, who went to bat for them, of course he's an attorney, they said, we will not knuckle under, and the state of Utah says, we're going to take your license. And they said, and now a judge has said, nope, the state has violated the First Amendment by bringing an administrative enforcement action against a mainstream motion picture theater showing an R-rated movie, Judge Nuffer wrote. Brewvies faced revocation of their license, so forth and so on. So they challenged the law. In the ruling, Judge Nuffer said this: Brewvies is no playtime theater. It's not the Pussycat. It's not Candyland or Teasers or the Cajun Club.
Well,
I think it's pretty interesting that Judge Nuffer knows all those places.
Maybe he just Googled strip clubs.
It's not.
I don't know.
Listen, I mean, all of Pussycat. It's not the Pussycat, Candyland, Teasers, or the Cajun Club, or Angels Sports Bar.
I've only heard of Teasers.
No, all of those are very famous.
I don't know any of them. Brewvies does not focus on sex. It shows the same movies that other non-sexually oriented movie theaters show, but they do sell alcohol, beer specifically. It is not a statutorily defined sexually oriented business.
No, it's a movie theater showing a superhero movie.
You know, you should be a judge, Gina. You really should.
It's funny the DABC picked this particular movie.
Why?
Well, I think they would have had maybe a little bit better of a case if they had picked something.
No, his point
really
is
salacious.
it's a rated R movie. It's not a rated X movie. Any rated R movie would have gotten the same.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think another movie. Now, it's interesting, isn't it, that the Eccles Theater, because of this, didn't sell beer during the Book of Mormon.
Well, they sold it out front. You just couldn't take it in.
Right. Maybe
they'll loosen up with this.
Well, yeah. Next time there are dance routines with black phalluses. The Eccles.
There are many plays. That have that.
Well, there are. It's kind of a theme.
I saw a great production of The Odd Couple that was done that way. It was
Felix and Oscar.
Yeah,
it was that sword fight scene.
Yeah, it ended poorly.
Now there is another big story, and we're probably a lot of you know some about it, involving a nurse up at the University of Utah Hospital being dragged out of the hospital by the cops. Hang on. We're not going to go into it now because it'll be a boner candidate coming up in our first round of boner voting. It's a pretty interesting story. it seems that the police actions were pretty egregious, but we'll get into it coming up in the boners. All right. Now the Hurricane Harvey, still just horrible. It's been a week now. Conditions are still horrible. A series of explosions at a flood-damaged chemical plant outside of Houston yesterday drew sharp focus on hazards to public health and safety from the city's vast petrochemical complex. Not only is there oil refineries there are all kinds of chemical plants that use oil and to do other chemical processes. I think that's where the Huntsmans, as a matter of fact, made a great deal of their fortune. John Huntsman Sr. He had I don't know if they still own it. I think they finally divested themselves of that entire business enterprise. But they used to make styrofoam containers.
It was petroleum.
Yeah, and those are petroleum based products, and they for like fast food restaurants, and they put a hamburger in there. And now I think all fast food restaurants probably gone away from those because they're not environmentally friendly. And but that's where the Huntsmans, they have just those kind of industries are a lot of those in Houston, plus the oil refining. They're saying now 39 people. That's the death toll in Houston
so far.
Yeah, they're pretty sure they're going to find more. I'm going later on today. I'm going to leave town and go to Moab for the weekend. Moab drinking water is contaminated, and a drinking bottled water only edict has been issued for the city of Moab.
Really?
Yeah.
What happened?
For the next 48 hours, starting at noon yesterday, residents were to use only bottled water. The city included a map of there are certain areas of the city where the water is apparently unsafe to drink.
The story is making me thirsty.
The contamination.
Where'd that water come from, Gary?
The contamination happened at a water hydrant located at the construction site of a housing development. City officials said it appeared that chemicals and black water, a term for wastewater, got into the system.
That's poo water.
Yeah, it's poo water, essentially. Listen, we have a minute here because I've gotten a note here that homeless Ben is on line 1.
Hello, Ben.
Hi, Ben.
Hello.
Ben, so you were in our studio last week, and you brought us some donuts and told us your story of being homeless. Ben, what state did you come here from?
It was Arkansas.
Arkansas, yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And
Carrie's pointing to his head because you had a Razorbacks hat on.
That's the only way I remembered it.
And Ben had come to Utah because his ex-wife is here and his kids are here. And so Ben came here to be close to his kids. He got 2 jobs. You're working at
Harmon's.
Where's the other? You're loading trucks somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Michael's.
Oh, that's right, the craft store.
Right.
But have been unable to get enough money together so far to find a home, so you've been sleeping in your car. For how long?
Since July 23rd.
Jeez.
So we had people call in when you told their story, and I was under the assumption that somebody had offered up a place for you.
Didn't we hook you up?
Yeah.
Well, when I got, Richie was very helpful. He took a couple of calls, but what they were is somebody called from Valley Mental Health saying that they offer services, and I haven't really been able to get anything there yet. And then somebody from Utah Community Action.org called, which I've done, but the problem is those people help you get like money for down payment and like first month's rent and stuff.
Yeah.
But you have to apply for it, and you can only apply twice a month, and the applying period, next one is on the 5th, so I haven't even been able to apply yet. And then it takes a couple of weeks, I guess, after that. But then there were any number of people, at least, so we saw texts come in and stuff that said, well, I've got an extra room, or I've got plenty of room at my house. You could come and stay here for a little while. But you didn't get any of that or follow up on that? I didn't get any of that, no.
How would you feel about that if somebody, texted in some stranger and said, I got plenty of room at my place. Ben could come and stay here.
It's probably better than my car.
All right, we'll go through it again for you, Ben, to try and help, because Ben seemed to be a really good guy.
Yes.
So if you got a place that Ben could stay for a time until it shouldn't be too much longer before you have the money, right?
But not even that.
No, I'm getting there. Like another paycheck or two, and I'll be good to go. It's taking some time.
Not even. I saw some. Not I have a room in my house. Come stay. I saw people that said I have an apartment I can rent you, and I'll waive your deposit. Those are the ones I think. I don't know about you going and staying in somebody's house, but someone says they're willing to waive the security deposit or something. That's what you need.
Ben, let's put you on hold. We'll get your number. And then we'll have folks call in if they have a place for you to stay.
877-602-9696.
Yeah.
If you were one of those people who said, I'll waive the deposit and the rent is such and such, call us and we'll put you in touch with Ben or Ben in touch with you.
Okay.
All right?
That's amazing, guys. I appreciate it.
All right. We'll put you on hold, and Richie will get your number. All right.
It's just because he brought us donuts.
Well...
No, he's doing all the right things.
No, he
he's
is.
Just in a rough place.
Yeah, you do have to bring us donuts or money. If we would have taken Ben. I think those donuts probably cost him $15. You could have just given us the $15. We would have taken that as well.
Sports weather traffic.
Go Utes!
Oh, what happened? Did the game happen?
The game happened.
It went off okay?
I wish I'd skipped the first quarter because then I wouldn't have had a heart attack. But it all ended up okay, 37-16.
My God, you've recovered well.
I know.
You had an actual heart attack.
I was very upset and concerned.
Were you pounding on things?
Yes.
Were you yelling and screaming at the TV?
No, I wasn't yelling.
Were you screaming?
Jonesy was yelling. She was very, very upset.
I was yelling and screaming because there were too many cars parked in front of my house.
Oh, yeah, and everybody was very well behaved on my park strip. Didn't have any bottles or empties left there.
Nice for a change.
And Richie, you live in town now, so you see the drunks walking home after. Yeah, it's super good fun. So 37-16. Next week it's a BYU game.
Oh,
at BYU.
Who's BYU playing?
The Utes.
Oh,
the Go Utes.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Oh, and our attorney's Buckeyes also won. I know he's listening. So
that's Ohio State. For those of you who may not know.
Brought to you by Snowbird's annual Oktoberfest. Enjoy classic German beer, food, and music every Saturday and Sunday, including Labor Day through October 15th. Get all the details at snowbird.com. Weather, it's just going to warm up as the weekend goes on. So today, 91, tomorrow, 95. Sunny, warm, summery weekend.
Boy, am I the only one that's tired of this heat?
No. No, you're not. Crash off northbound I-15 exit ramp to eastbound SR 92. Seems like that's the only incident so far being reported. You can report one though. Try it. It's fun. Text it 33986.
Try it. It's
fun.
Oh, all right. Let's see now. What were you saying about Ellen earlier?
Oh, well, see, I had this story. Here it is. This is a story about and maybe we could put the picture up of this guy who dressed his little brother up as Pennywise the clown.
Okay.
Now, it's pretty creepy looking. And I mean, when it's his little brother, it's a really little kid.
He did a good job, though.
Oh, it's brilliant.
Yeah.
There are a series of photos. I don't know, Dylan, can you do any of the others? Can you do some of the others?
X96.com/live. It just he's got the makeup perfect. It's the makeup for the new Pennywise, the new movie, not the old one.
Yeah.
So, and it looks great.
So he's got. There are other pictures too.
I like the way it's framed too.
There's one where the little kid is standing up to his chin in water.
Ooh, that'd be even creepier.
With the creepy face looking out. And the little kid, I mean, he must be, 4 or 5, 6 maybe, is you can tell he's really into it, too.
He's got kind of a scowly face.
Yeah. And so I thought, well, that's kind of, but what they're doing, the kid said, well, I'm doing it because I want people to tweet so we can get on Ellen. And what? What, is that the thing now?
That's how you get on Ellen?
Is that, through tweets, that's how you get on Ellen?
So Ellen, so you don't get on Ellen, she retweets you, is what he means.
Oh, he wants to be retweeted?
She retweets cute kids
Things
and
that catch her eye.
cute puppies, cute kitties. Kids and pets. She will retweet if she thinks it's cute.
See,
so it's not like actually getting on the show.
Well, no. Here's what he said. His wish is he said he would like. It would feel amazing to be on Ellen. And show people that they didn't know who they were messing with. Apparently, this kid had been bullied by a bunch of people.
Oh, well, then that's what he's.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
It's not just the picture. There's a story.
Yeah, but he did it. He did it specifically so Ellen would take note, and then get him on the show. And I thought, well, you know, I want to be on Ellen now. It seems to be the thing to do. She's that popular. Be on Ellen. And I don't know what to do.
Don't you remember our friend Dove Saporin when he came in here once?
Right.
So we talked about he was trying to get on,
and he didn't.
Ellen.
He did not get on, and he had a compelling story.
And I think if Dove couldn't get on, we shouldn't even.
Well, we need a compelling
try.
story.
Yeah. I wonder what it is that catches her eye or her imagination or fancy that she then said. And I've seen a couple of instances where she sends a camera crew to the person's house in a different part of the country.
So you say she likes kids and pets?
Yeah.
Kids.
You
and
have
pets.
kids.
You have pets?
Oh, and you have an adorable dog.
I do.
So why don't you get on
I
that?
haven't tagged Ellen. And
Like, you know, have a picture of your little kid with his broken tooth holding the puppy.
Yeah. You got to get him on Ellen?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. With the curly hair.
I don't know how that gets us on Ellen, though. It gets it.
Well, she'd have to.
You'd be Ellen adjacent.
Well, she'd have to drag us with her.
Yeah.
Say, I'm not allowed to be on talk shows without my radio partners.
It's contractual.
How about my cat with a goopy eye?
I don't think Ellen's
Goopy Eye Klaus.
Goopy
Well,
Eye
maybe
Klaus.
she'd take pity on him. You know, let's get this poor
Fundraiser
goopy-eyed. Let's get this poor goopy-eyed cat on the show. We'll have him play one of those games with Ellen. I don't know, but take a look at this. I'll tweet a link to this story. The pictures of the little kid, the other pictures of the little kid are just amazing. Yeah, you can find it at RFH Bill on Twitter. Okay.
All right. You have more traffic? You okay?
I have a
You good?
sponsor.
Okay, that's good enough.
If I had any traffic to tell you about, it'd be brought to you by Snowbird. Season passes are on sale now, offering the most benefits of any pass in Utah. Experience the longest season, 2,500 acres of legendary terrain. Learn more at snowbird.com. You can text us some traffic if you see some. 33986.
All right, thank you very much. Well, I'm getting plenty of tweets that the song selection for opening the show at 6 was perfect.
For September?
For September, because it talks about ascending to Valhalla. These Zeppists, it's a religion to them. And Ed Brass is the leader of that religion, I'm convinced.
I think we ought to get Ed on the air. I've got a Led Zeppelin quiz.
Oh.
We ought to just see how good he is.
Maybe, Richie, you could find out if sometime this month Very Important Sports is going to, we could do it in person.
All right.
I'd like to give Ed the Led Zeppelin quiz and just see how well he does.
All right. Listen, we got Meh Question of the Week coming up after these. KXRK Provo. Attention, Utah residents. Radio from Hell is doing another Not Safe for Work podcast live at the Ruin and Sugar House Friday, September 8th from 6 to 8 p.m.
You can RSVP right now at x96.com to save your place at this event. This event will fill up. They fill up very quickly.
But wait, there's more. Sister Dottie from Spanish Fork will be there too.
Sister Dottie live in person?
Does she know that it's a Not Safe for Work podcast recording? That means drinking, swearing, stories that we can't tell on the radio. Somebody's going to tell her bishop.
Radio from Hell Not Safe for Work show will fill up fast, so go to x96.com right now, and we'll see you at the Ruin on Friday, September 8th.
The best news that I received in New York, well, the best thing that I learned, okay, is that I never have to go on a cruise again.
Good news, everyone.
That's good. Oh, I
Good
know why.
news, everyone.
I know why. Yeah.
Why?
We went out to Liberty Island, and this is the second time now that Sue has gotten seasick.
You go on a ferry out there.
Yeah. One time before is we took a cruise around the bay up in Seattle. She was just completely messed up the rest of that trip. And this time, it was our last day in New York. We went out, and she got seasick and was just miserable the rest of the day.
So
that is some great news. I never will have to go on a cruise. I've been on one. I'm not a cruise guy.
Yeah.
You know, you're
no matter
either
how old you get,
you are a cruise person or you're not a cruise person, and that's all there is to it.
I've never been on a cruise, but I'm worried I would get on a cruise and discover that I am not a cruise
My wife
person.
got quite seasick on a cruise. I think I would enjoy a cruise if it were the right one.
Well, now see, that's the thing is that a friend of mine, my friend next door neighbor, Buckley, he came over and he said, you know, there's this cruise that we go on every year in October that I think you'd have a lot of fun, and you and Sue should come with us. It's a Halloween cruise to Mexico. And people just get rip-roaring drunk, and they're running around in costumes. And I said, well, two things. I don't think so, because that doesn't sound fun.
Yeah.
I'm trapped on a boat with a bunch of lunkheads.
But there's booze.
And second of all...
That doesn't make everything better.
Yeah, believe it or not.
No.
Believe it or not. Because, you know, there are just some people who drink I don't like to be around. Yeah. And I'll bet they're the same kind of people who like to dress up in Halloween costumes, you know? I mean, imagine being locked in Port of Call on Halloween for 3 days.
Say no more.
You know?
See, the worst kind of cruise are those. I mean, do you want to go on a booze cruise? You don't.
You don't.
I'm telling you,
It sounds
you don't.
like a good idea.
You just don't want to. Those things that they label as booze cruises.
Didn't you guys go on one in Mexico?
Yeah,
Hawaii.
Hawaii.
We went in Hawaii.
And it was terrible.
Yeah.
It was just terrible. But yeah, there's these small cruise companies that are real high end that I think it'd be kind of. Or I'd like to do. There are river cruises where they do cruise adventures on the great rivers of Europe and things like that. I think that'd be, you know,
now that'd be okay.
A cruise of the Rhine on a boat with maybe it's like 100 other people or something like that with high end gourmet meals but they're expensive.
But I have been spared the hardship that is the cruise. Yeah. So thank you, Sue. Thank you, Sue, for being seasick, for being a landlubber. Thank you.
She doesn't have sea legs?
No sea legs. Is this a sponsored feature?
Yes, it's brought to you by Prohibition. Whoever sent in this best question of the week, and you can send them in, just radiofromhell at x96.com. Put best question, or if you prefer, meh question of the week. You could win a $25 gift card to Prohibition, Utah's sexiest new speakeasy, located north of Fashion Place Mall in Murray. Tonight and every Friday night is live music. Don't miss weekend sexy burlesque dancers. Reservations and information at prohibitionutah.com.
You know, this is how strategic we are. We put our least popular feature, the check-ins, very early in the show. We put our second least popular feature, the meh question of the week, right here in the heart of ratings time.
We shouldn't have.
We
should rethink that.
We're not smart radio people, really, when it comes down to it. I know I don't know how to do my job, so it makes it tough. But the meh question of the week. First, before I get to that, just quickly, we had that story about Brewvies, and there's the judge in that story. His name was mentioned in the story, and it was Judge David Nuffer. So I read that and I say, well, that's Judge David Nuffer, right?
That's how I would read it.
Nuffr. Well, I was informed by somebody in our chat room or in text, Bill, it's not Nuffer, it's Nuffer. Judge Nuffer. So thanks for correcting me, but if I were the judge, I would just change the spelling or go with Nuffer.
All right. So are we back to best question now?
Yeah, and here we go. Okay. So this is these are examples of questions that are not the best question. How much change is too much change to keep in your pocket? That's really unanswerable, isn't it?
$2.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, apparently Gina can answer.
$2.
Is it all ones? I don't.
Change.
Well,
I think
like loose
coins.
Coins.
I think it's
dollars. Okay, $2 too much.
I think it's any. That would be my. But that's not a good question. Is there such a thing as too many pockets? Yes.
Yes.
Bear claw or Danish? Who cares?
Claw.
Who cares?
Yeah.
And then how do you style your hair for a light breeze? I don't know.
Ponytail.
But
Okay.
Here is the best question. I'm curious to know how you spend your time with each other outside of working together. Is there a specific memory that you have of each other that goes or trumps all others? What's your favorite memory about your coworker that you have outside of your job? Much love to you, and this is from Robert.
Robert will get that Prohibition gift card.
He says he doesn't need a prize, but we're giving it to you anyway.
You're getting one.
Damn. So, favorite memory outside of... It's hard to answer that question because we don't socialize outside of work.
Usually,
we don't, but here are mine.
Okay.
And this is sort of work, but it's not at work.
Okay.
The very first charity event I was asked to host by myself, I was petrified. Was anything up to that point I'd done with you guys. And Bill Allred so generously said, well, I'll come do it with you.
I did?
You did.
What was the event?
It was my kid's school.
Well, I think actually I don't recall offering. I think you asked me if I would. I remember that.
Let me give you a stroke and just take it.
Gina,
that's
a little personal.
You look better in this story if you offered to do it.
I don't think I offered, but go ahead.
Okay, I asked you, and you agreed, which was nice because those kind of things are on weekends and at night, and it takes you away from your family.
You asked me, and I said yes. I didn't want to do it, but I said yes.
Again, I'm trying to make you look nice.
But isn't that's even better of me, because I really hated doing it, wanting to do but I said, okay, I'll go with you.
Carrie will get mad at me for bringing this up, I'm sure. Carrie has a heart as much as he doesn't want people to think he does.
Shut your mouth.
When I was going through my divorce, that was before Carrie and Bill were super generous and insisted that I get paid the same thing they get paid. So I think I was making $24,000 a year at the time. And I was single momming it and having a really hard time because I wasn't getting child support, and that's a whole other story. Carrie and Sue secretly gave me some money to help me out for a while, which was extremely nice. Not only that, but Sue, part of my single mom worry was I go to work at 4 o'clock in the morning. Who's going to take care of my kid so I can go to work? Sue, for free, for quite a while. Eventually I started paying her, but for free, she would come to my house at 4 o'clock in the morning and sit with Festus and take him to school. So both Carrie and Sue.
Carrie, I need a little money.
And Richie was the first person, not a family member of mine, to hold Jonesy after she was born.
Wow.
He was the first person to come to the hospital. And you came with Bill, but you were the first person to hold my baby daughter that wasn't a family member.
I didn't know that.
That was actually going to be my favorite memory of you, because I remember going up to the hospital, because it was...
And Gina said, I don't want Bill to hold her. I'm afraid he'll drop her.
He'll just complain about her in some way.
And see, and I didn't come visit you in the hospital because I know that some women don't like the way they look when they're in the hospital, and I just didn't want to put you in that position. I've had a lot of female friends who say, "Don't come see me. I look terrible."
Wait till I get home.
So I never do.
So those are mine.
I'll give you guys just a second more. Carrie,
I'm hard pressed to think of.
My favorite memory of Carrie was sort of a combined thing. We had gone to New Orleans right before Katrina for boot camp, and we'd picked up, I think it was a stripper policeman hat.
Yeah.
And this was back before all the incidents, and Carrie and I spent time together. But I remember a night, I think it was the City Weekly Best of Awards, where you insisted that I wear the policeman's cap because it looked like a chauffeur's cap, and I drove you and Sue around in your old white Subaru, and you called me Stedman. I was like, call me Richie, and you're like, Stedman, shut up. Drive the car.
Still have the hat?
Still have it.
All right. Better start bringing it.
Yeah. That's my favorite memory, Carrie. And then Bill, my favorite memory with Bill is and there's video proof of this, so he can't deny it. About 10 years ago, maybe 8 years ago, we hiked down to Havasupai. A group of my friends, and Bill came along as well.
That's at the bottom of the Grand Canyon.
And so that was fun. That was
that
4 or 5 days hiking and being with Bill.
That would be mine, too. Yeah. Carrie?
I'm
just hoping we run out of time.
We're almost out of time. I'll stretch if you'd like. The kitchen dinner in New Orleans.
Oh yeah,
at Charlie Trotter's.
That was a good time.
That was a good time. So that was a lot of fun. We got to sit in the kitchen
in
Charlie Trotter's. Oh, Chicago, not New Orleans. Charlie Trotter's in Chicago, and you get to see them making the food, and it was a great time.
Still the most expensive meal I've ever had in my life.
And Gina, with you, the infamous Drinky McWeather.
Oh.
I got Gina drunk at Trader Vic's at the Beverly Hilton. Is it the Beverly Hilton? What's the hotel connected to that? And got to watch her stumble back to her room. And she was proclaimed that night Drinky McWeather.
Can we play that on Labor Day? Can we drag out Drinky McWeather for best ofs on Labor Day?
It's Pioneer Weekend, so it's all alternative music. No best ofs this weekend.
Okay. So here are mine very quickly. Carrie's my most vivid memory of Carrie. I can't really tell on the air what it is, but it was when we were negotiating our contract to come and work for Broadway Media, and we had an offer from some other company, and then we had an offer from Broadway Media, and there was just a moment. I think Gina, we were at a restaurant, I think. And Gina had left the room to go to the bathroom like she often does. And Carrie and I, there was just a brief moment there where Carrie and I had a little discussion and moment about that whole thing. And I won't go into the details of it, but I still, whenever I think of that, I was touched by that moment. And it was like about as real as we have ever been together. And then Gina, I know you'll take this badly, but it is really a fond memory.
Okay.
We were in Miami, And we were all in Carrie's room, I think, except you, and you came walking into the room wearing a blouse that had a big anchor.
This is your favorite memory of me?
Well, only because it just summed up who you are. because I was not the only one. You walked into the room. It was a brand new shirt, I guess, or blouse that you had bought with a big anchor on it. And
we were in a nautical themed place.
And everyone in the room went, what? You're going to... And I said... You got that at Dillard's, didn't you? And you went, yes! And then she went and changed the shirt. It just summed you up.
Do you still have that?
No.
No, she threw it away in Miami.
Did you?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Make it home?
I wish you would have kept it.
No.
All right. There you go. Meh question of the week. All right. Thank you.
Let's see. We got boner of the day coming up. We got traffic here. Let me tell you what the boner candidates are. Number 1. Mommy needs to wake up. Boner candidate number 2. Stop. I did nothing wrong. That involves the story you may have heard about with the University of Utah nurse. And then boner candidate number 3. Get off my road.
All right.
5600 West sucks, but that's normal, a friend of the program says. They sent that in via text 33986.
Not much traffic today.
No. Well, it's people
holiday.
have it off. I bet a
Labor
lot of
Day.
people are out of town already.
Yep.
All right, so we got Boner of the Day. All that's coming up. Stand by, along with Big Boy News. Ranlife.com.
Oh, yes. Listen, I get weekly, monthly probably, updates from Ran Life about their programs and the things that they have and all
I
of
just
that.
remember when you were working with them, you were talking about how easy it was to work with them, how they were just there for you all the time.
They still are. They're terrific. If you need to refinance or if you need to, if you want a first mortgage, Ran Life are the people to do it because they are local and they really personalize things for you in the mortgage industry.
And even after you've got your mortgage, and I know this has happened with you, Bill, if rates change, they'll contact you and go, hey, you know what, we could save you even more money if we refinance you now.
Yeah, and again, personal service. Now, the guy who did my last refinance, he's not there anymore, but somebody else in the company has reached out to me about some new deals. So go to ranlife.com for more.
Utah was founded by pioneers, and alternative music in Utah was founded by X96.
So, we're giving you another Pioneers of Alternative Music weekend on X96.
It all starts today at 3 with me, Todd Newcomb, and we'll continue over the 3-day Labor Day weekend.
It's a full weekend of the songs that built X96.
Blink 182
and the bun.
to the
No
Depeche Mode, to
cheese,
Nirvana,
no
to the Killers,
mayonnaise,
and
no lettuce,
everything in
tomato,
between.
onions,
The Pioneers of
coleslaw.
Alternative Weekend for
And
your
can I
3-day
get
Labor Day
onion rings
weekend
instead of
on
fries?
X96.
And can I get
I
bacon
chose to
on
stay at my
that?
mom's house 30 minutes
you
more
want to
than
do
we
the chicken
planned.
club?
It's been such a long time since she's seen the kids.
I chose to have one more drink.
You see,
The game was
what was your
on.
name again?
It had been
Kristen.
such a long
Kristen,
time
you see,
since
this is
we've been in
not
the
this is not a
playoffs.
radio
Kids were
bit.
asleep, so
You
I
need
took
to
a long
know
way home.
that this is
It
the
was
way
such
she
a
really
nice
is, and no one
One of
believes
those
us.
perfect summer nights.
We thought if we got it on
Temperature,
tape, people would
stars,
finally
everything.
believe it.
It was such a big win. I had half a glass more.
Yeah, and I would
Still
like
felt fine.
Cajun,
Maybe a
spicy
little buzz,
Cajun
but
mustard
overall I
mayonnaise
felt
on
great.
the side.
There's a shortcut I take home that doesn't put me on the highway.
sandwich.
That's when it happened.
Thank
I
you.
came around a corner.
No cheese. No
sharp.
cheese. No, just chicken.
There they were.
Yeah. Chicken bacon
Head on.
bun.
I thought I
And
could
again,
still swerve
we're
away.
not trying to be
I didn't
difficult.
choose
Just
to
for the
lose
radio.
my
This
son.
is real.
I chose to drink and drive.
I'm so very sorry.
I regret it every single day.
The choices you make when you're buzzed change more than just your life. Buzz driving
And how long
is
have you
drunk
worked here?
driving. A message from the Utah Department of
Dealing
Public
with tourists
Safety.
every day and their
Sometimes
weird ordering
life can
habits.
have
This is the
setbacks.
worst. I want it on
You said
record, ladies
minor
and gentlemen.
repairs.
Those are minor repairs.
From an
23
official
minor
professional
repairs.
waitress, I'm the worst.
The setbacks
Again,
that
this is
keep
no
you from
exaggeration.
moving forward.
Congratulations, Gina.
Congratulations.
You've earned your spot in the Hard
Some
Rock Hall
banks
of
like to
Fame.
charge
here to get
fees
married,
that set you back instead of moving you forward to financial
and
wellness.
she's
That's why
marrying a
when
guy
you use the
named
red key to
Joe-
open a hassle-free
Joe
account,
Jones.
you'll be taking
Maybe
a big
you
step
as our
forward.
waitress. I'm sorry, what's your name again?
With KeyBank's
Maybe
hassle-free
Kristen, you
account,
as our
you'll have
waitress.
no
You
overdraft
could warn
fees,
Joe
no
that
monthly
it's
service
still not
charges,
too
and no
late.
minimum balance fees.
Because
So
I've
your
been
life
saying
can
it
have
every
fewer
day,
setbacks.
every hour,
Did you have
ever
that
since
pain
we heard
before?
about this.
Yes.
Well, you got it again. Take the first step
what
toward
we
financial
think.
wellness and use the red key to make
Thank
your
you.
finances hassle-free. Switch to a KeyBank hassle-free account and get $100 when transaction requirements are met. For details about this offer or how to get $300, go to key.com/get100 or any KeyBank branch. Member FDIC.
Tom, my girlfriend wants a unique designer engagement ring, one that she can show off to her friends.
Now, did you find the Mitt Romney?
I did find the Mitt Romney. But I heard you don't carry designer styles.
Let me just
That's
read
just
to
not
you
true.
briefly
We have
where he
nearly
did
1,000 exclusive ring
this.
styles.
It was during
we
a
have our
surprise
own
appearance at a
designers,
dinner
and
this week.
we also
Did he
work
pop
with
out of a
independent
For
designers
Washington,
to
D.C.
create
radio and
original
television
styles only
reporters,
for Shane
his top
Company
10
and
list of reasons why he
So you
dropped
have
out of
your
the
own
race
designer
for the
styles
White
that no other
House
jeweler can get?
earlier
That's
this
right,
year.
Brandon.
Oh, now
we don't want
I
to be
found
like
the David
every other
Letterman.
jeweler
Is this a
selling
different thing?
designer
Well, it says
brand
Romney,
names.
it
Well,
says
I
here
can
Romney
respect that,
offered
and
the
I don't
David
want to
Letterman
propose with
style
some ring
list,
that everyone else
written
has.
with the help of
Exactly.
several campaign
It's about how
advisors
beautiful
at
the
the
ring
Radio
is,
and
not the
Television
name on
Correspondents
it.
Annual
Shane Company
Awards
doesn't
dinner
charge for a
Wednesday night.
designer
A
name,
video
which
of the
adds no
appearance is
value to
available
the
on
ring.
YouTube.
Other
Now,
jewelers
see, I've got
charge
the
you
David
40%
Letterman. I don't
more
know if this is
just
the
for
same
the
thing.
designer
I
brand
also-
and I'll
names.
see if
Instead,
I also
come
have,
to
the
Shane
other
Company
one, too,
and
so.
put that money towards a larger
top 10
diamond.
reasons
So I
Mitt
can get
Romney
the
dropped out of the
designer look she
presidential race.
wants
Well, here
and
you
a
have
bigger
it.
diamond for a lot
As topical as
Now,
though
you
torn
have
from
a
today's
friend in the
headlines.
jewelry business.
You're exactly right.
Shane
Top 10
Company.
reasons Mitt
Bobby's
Romney
barbecue
dropped out of the
is made
presidential
the
race. Here we go, number 10.
Slow
Harsh
roasted
Midwest
meats that can
weather
take up to
was murder on
13
a split end.
hours.
Number
That's a
9.
lot of time.
Is
when
that-
you have
This
time,
is
you
not
get
the Mitt
bored,
Romney
and
one.
when you
This
get
is
bored,
Letterman's, but
you
let's see
add
which one is funny.
bourbon
Okay.
to the sauce. You know,
Wants to
balance.
devote more time to
Hints
his
of
rap
oaky
persona, P.
bourbon on the
Mitty.
front end, finishing with notes of
Number 8, polls show
enormous
public
meat
doesn't want a president who looks like a casino greeter.
bourbon barbecue sandwiches.
Number 7, just couldn't compete with the Ron Paul
have
juggernaut.
the meat.
Number 6, unveiling a new line of honey roasted rom nuts. What? Honey roasted rom nuts. I don't know what's the matter with the guy. Number 5, that bastard Zogby had it in for him. Number 4, apparently America's not ready for a white male president. Number 3. Number 3. No, number 3, a writer suffering from mitt withdrawal. Number 2, there was that little problem of nobody voting for him. And the number 1
Suicide reason is a
Mitt Romney
public
dropped
health
out of the
issue
presidential
and
race,
leading
lost all of
cause
his
of
money
death
betting on the
in Utah.
Patriots.
Prevention starts with everyday heroes like you. Join X96 on Saturday, September 16th at Liberty Park as we walk to fight suicide and raise awareness about mental health. Be a part of the movement turning hope into action. Join the X96 Out of the Darkness team and help us create a culture that's smart about mental health. Funds raised at the walks will benefit the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. Join the fight. Donate or register today at x96.com or outofthedarkness.org.
It's the UDOT Construction Alert. Plan ahead for delays on SR 201 starting Tuesday, September 5th. Lane restrictions will be in place on SR 201 during nights and weekends from Redwood Road to Bangor Highway. Crews will be working through October to repave the freeway. This traffic report is brought to you by UDOT.
Radio from Hell, your source for big boy news and opinioendo.
She's not a Christian!
Celebrity news and other stuff we come up with right before we turn on the microphones. Listen weekday mornings on X96.
I mean, I think it's key to remember that a lot of great jazz musicians weren't even professional jazz musicians. They didn't make money doing it. You know, for example, to this day, I work at a pizza restaurant as a hostess.
Right.
As a host.
You know, the way that a jazz musician works is jazz is their passion. What I do is I manage a lot of children. We go on camping retreats. And I actually, at night, when they're asleep, I'll put on a little jazz, a little boogie woogie. And so when they wake up, they are irritable and they did not have a pleasant night's sleep because kids do not like jazz.
Nor should they.
1, 2, 3, ho!
Stay up to date with the latest from your favorite morning radio show.
And we're the 3 best friends that anybody could have.
Follow Radio from Hell.
Released the recording of a 911 call made by a 4-year-old girl from the back seat of the family's van with her mother unconscious from a possible overdose. I tried to wake Mommy up, and she wouldn't wake up, the child told the 911 dispatcher in the edited recording that was released on Wednesday. The girl was found by a passerby in the van. She was crying. The windows were rolled up. The ignition was off, and her mother was unconscious in the front of the van. I don't know if she's sleeping, the passerby told the 911 dispatcher, but one baby girl is here, and she's crying, and she wants to go to school, she told me. The little girl said, told me to call the police, the Good Samaritan said to the 911 dispatcher. And sure enough, the mother, so-called mother, Colleen Jezreel Nichols of Boca Raton, Florida, has been arrested on suspicion of child neglect. She was not dead. She was just out
drunk,
with a drug overdose.
Drugs
with drugs apparently. And the little girl did a really good job. A 4-year-old did a really good job calling 911. Boner candidate number 1, Mommy needs to wake up. Boner candidate number 2, boy, a lot of people sent me this one too. Stop, I did nothing wrong.
We have the video available.
Well, it's about 20 minutes long.
If people want to go watch it later.
It's x96.com/live. There'll be a little bit of it on there. There's some stills from it there.
Yeah.
A nurse says she was assaulted and illegally arrested by a Salt Lake City police detective for following hospital policy, a policy that does not allow a blood draw from an unconscious patient. Footage from University Hospital and officer body cameras shows Detective Jeff Payne and nurse Alex Rubels in a standoff over whether the policeman should be allowed to get a blood sample from a patient who'd been injured in a collision I think it was up in the Sardine Canyon. Rubel says blood cannot be taken from an unconscious patient unless the patient is under arrest, which he was not, unless there's a warrant, and there was no warrant, or the patient gives consent, and the patient was unconscious, so could not give consent.
Okay, sounds like it's cut and dry.
And
right?
she wasn't just saying that. She said, I'll get hospital administration involved, which she did, and they said, no, you can't do that.
The detective acknowledges in the footing that none of those requirements are in place, but he insisted that he had the authority to obtain the draw. At one point, Payne threatened to take Rubels to jail if she didn't get the sample. He
looks out of control when you watch the video. He's losing it.
Yeah.
She's trying to do the right thing.
She gets the hospital administration on the phone,
and
you can hear the administrator, whoever it is, on the phone saying, "No, don't give it to him. That's hospital policy. That's law. Do not give them the blood sample.
Go get a warrant."
Yeah. Now,
if you watch the video even further to the end, a second cop comes. She gets taken to the cop car and put inside.
Handcuffed.
So the first cop, the one with the mustache, who was just acting erratic. Second cop comes and starts talking to her, saying, "You have to understand your policy is getting in the way of my case."
That's not her problem.
And that's what she said, is it's not my policy, it's the hospital's policy. And the second cop is trying to intimidate her as well.
Yeah.
And they drag her. This is a nurse.
Did you say one of the cops had a mustache?
The first one did.
Oh, that's interesting. And apparently they wanted...
And Ed says it's the law, not just policy.
Yeah, I
thought
so.
Yeah.
The officer said he wanted the blood sample to actually protect the patient, not punish him. That was his.
For whatever reason.
He said he was advised by Lieutenant James Tracy, the watch commander on duty that night, to arrest the nurse, Rubels, for interfering with a police investigation if she refused to let him get the sample. Well, she won't do it. Arrest her, the watch person said.
It's the law. You're asking her to break the law.
Yeah. So
and then he said, according to Stephanie, and I didn't hear this part, but I trust Stephanie. He then said in the parking lot that he would bring all of his transients to this hospital and the good ones somewhere else.
Yeah, I did hear that.
Can you believe that?
Yeah.
These two were out of
way
control.
out of control.
I think now I don't know. Did she was ultimately not charged, arrested and booked or charged.
They detained her, but
they were dragging her out of the hospital.
Yeah, they handcuffed her. They dragged her out.
So boner candidate number 2. Stop! I did nothing wrong. Coming up in a moment, boner candidate number 3. Get off my road.
All right. Boner candidate number 3 after this here big boy news and innuendo brought to you by
Feldman's Deli open for breakfast at 8 a.m. You say every time I do this.
It's so good.
Can we do our show from there, breakfast show from there someday?
Yeah.
Real New York bagels, corned beef hash, Taylor ham, fried egg sandwiches, bagel beignets, biscuits and gravy, and other New York deli faves. Menu at feldmansdeli.com. Deli done right, Feldman's.
Tragedy.
Oh.
He was one of a kind.
We can rebuild him.
An original. He will be missed.
We have the techno.
91-year-old Richard Anderson. Who? The actor who played Oscar Goldman. Who?
That was one of my favorite things in The 40-Year-Old Virgin.
What?
Because he had a Oscar Goldman action
figure.
Yeah,
I was just going to bring that up. Oscar Goldman had an action figure, and the action part of it, well, because the $6 Million Man, you had the bionic eye, you had the bionic arm, and it could lift things and all that. They had to do something with Oscar Goldman. They gave him an exploding briefcase.
Yeah, well, Oscar Goldman was the handler for the $6 Million Man.
Can I oldsplain some action figure quickly?
And the Bionic Woman.
So the $6 Million Man with the bionic eye, he had a was it like a magnifying glass?
It was like a binocular.
Like a binocular
kind of thing,
in the back of his head. And so you'd hold the action figure up to your eye, and you could look through his eye and see far away. And then the Bionic Woman action figure, she had little plates in her arm that you could take off, and there were like little wires and things in it. They were so cool.
That doesn't sound cool.
They were cool.
Well, I guess if you're, what were you, 12?
They were cool.
$6 Million Man had a car engine that he could pick up.
That's
he came with a car engine. You could press the button on his back, and it would,
it wasn't real. I mean, it wasn't really very heavy.
And she had this jogging suit that had like these little Velcro openings, and you'd open the Velcro, and there are little wires.
And then what did Lindsay? Didn't she end up doing commercials for like a denture product or something?
No, it was like the sleep number bed.
Oh yeah, it was a sleep number bed. That was it. Other news. The man who murdered his husband here in Salt Lake, prominent restaurateur John Williams, the murdered man. The husband has been now ordered to spend the rest of his life in prison without the possibility of parole for trapping Mr. Williams, who was one of the founders of the gastronomy restaurant business here in Salt Lake. Mm-hmm. He trapped him in his burning home and left him there to die. 3rd District Judge James Blanche said the decision was based on Craig Crawford's deliberate acts and apparent premeditation as he set fire to the stairs of his estranged husband's Capitol Hill home last year, leaving him with no escape. So life without parole will be his sentence, or is his sentence. That woman who was killed on the on the off-ramp from I-15, the 6 South off-ramp.
Auto pedestrian.
Yeah, she has been identified. Police on Thursday released the identity. Salt Lake Police Department Detective Robert Ungrich said it was 28-year-old Cassandra Squires. She was an Orem woman who may have recently become homeless. She had been arrested a few days earlier in that sweep of the Rio Grande area. No, Detective Ungrich confirmed that Ms. Squires, who had a long misdemeanor history of drug-related convictions, had been arrested in the Operation Rio Grande sweep of downtown Salt Lake 4 days before she was hit and killed on the off-ramp to I-15. Let's see, also, the Tooele football coach who was swept up in a prostitution sting, and he's now resigned or been fired. His name, Mark Lynn Jackson of Tooele High School coach or assistant coach. And I didn't read the whole story until this morning. because later on in the story it says Mr. Jackson, Coach Jackson, is the second football coach from Tooele High to resign or be fired since January, and the third in the Tooele School District to leave being surrounded by controversy in the past year.
Really?
In January, Kyle Brady, the head football coach at the same school, resigned amid an ongoing investigation being conducted by the Professional Practices Advisory Committee. He was apparently having inappropriate communications through the phone with a student. And that's all the details we have of that. And then in September of last year, another coach, Curtis Ware, was accused of illegal sexual activity with 2 girls. So that's all out there in the Tooele School District. That's pretty strange, I think. Canada now officially a gender-neutral passport available. So you
Which says what on it?
It says you don't have to identify as male or female. Our shifty neighbor to the north.
They'll just let anything go, won't they?
You can put a gender-neutral X on your passport. Says all Canadians should feel safe to be themselves, live according to their gender identity, and express their gender as they choose. So there is a box you can check that is X gender.
They'll do anything
so
up
you
there.
You can put an X by the X. I think
all
that,
loosey-goosey with their...
I think Canada should not... We should no longer allow them to be America's hat.
This is the straw that broke the
I think title is being stripped from
I think this is the end for that. And, Wells Fargo, that is a venerable company. I mean, it's wagon days, cowboy days, Wells Fargo. They go back so long. More scandal at Wells Fargo. Nearly a year after Wells Fargo's fraudulent account scandal burst into public view, the bank said it's turned up more than 1 million more additional accounts that customers had not authorized.
They just opened accounts so they could point to their numbers and say, "See, we opened this many
because they
more
got
accounts."
bonuses.
Yeah.
Anytime you open an account, if you worked at Wells Fargo, you would get a bonus. So they would open up fraudulent accounts. So like they have an account for your grandparents, and that's one that's authorized, but then they just open up another account in their name, and it was millions and millions of them.
Well, they didn't hurt anybody. They didn't. Their argument is they didn't.
Yeah, I mean they weren't.
It was just a
defrauding
numbers
people.
game.
Yeah, but still.
Yeah, and then there's a new show in Britain, a reality show.
Okay.
And they always get the best reality shows in Great Britain. It's called Bromans. It's a reality show about bros living as Romans.
Living as Romans.
Yes.
There's a picture, x96.com/live.
Oh my God.
It looks like a costume party.
Yeah,
it's like togas and...
It's all of these overly tanned, overly tattooed...
douchebags.
Bros and broettes dressed as Romans, and they're all living as Romans in some location, and it's a reality show.
Are any of them going to be eaten by lions?
Yeah, throw some Christians to the lions, why don't you?
The handsome boys will fight it out with the help from their loving girlfriends. And along the way, there will be blood, sweat, and tears, promises the producers of Bromans.
Well, there must be chariot races then.
Yep.
Ugh. I hate
That's
that.
a terrible
I hate
idea.
everything about that.
And I love this is a British show, and all the people are like tan, like British people often.
Well, they had
are.
to ship them in from Jersey,
They
I'm
shipped
sure.
in tan
but-
people?
Yeah.
Let's see if anybody's shipping anything on that. No, you're all on vacation already. Why
Yeah.
are we even doing the show today? I don't know.
Okay, I'm out.
But we will be doing the show next Friday from The Ruin in Sugar House.
Not the morning show, but an evening show, Not Safe for Work podcast.
Yeah, but you need to go register if you want to be part of it. Go to x96.com. There's a rotating banner there where you can register if you're 21 or older to be part of the Not Safe for Work show at The Ruin in Sugar House, a modern bar open daily from 4 p.m. to 2 a.m., featuring weekly bingo, DJs, live music, located on Wilmington Avenue. Ruin work is the curse of the drinking class.
Here's boner candidate number 3. Get off my road. 50-year-old man in Florida, McCanopy, Florida, was charged with aggravated assault Tuesday after deputies said he threatened parents with a rifle while they waited in a school pickup line in front of the man's home. According to his arrest report, William Markham lives across the street from McCanopy Cooperative School in the northwest part of town, and he has complained several times about parents parking on the street outside of his home while they want to pick up their kids. According to the sheriff's office there, Mr. Markham came out of his house shirtless, armed with a rifle, and told parents in front of his house, "Get off my road!" Deputies said the principal and staff reacted quickly and offered the parents shelter inside of the school with their children until sheriff's deputies could arrive. Mr. Markham was charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon with intent to kill and not wearing a shirt while holding a rifle. Boner candidate, and it wasn't really one of the charges. Boner candidate number 3, get off my road.
There you go. Let's review the first two and vote.
Boner candidate number 1, mommy needs to wake up. A 4-year-old pleading with 911 after her mother had passed out in the front seat of the van. I guess they were on their way to school. Possible overdose, it looks like. Boner candidate number 2, stop, I did nothing wrong. A Utah nurse at the University of Hospital screaming, being dragged into a police car after refusing to let an officer, and she was following the law, refusing to let a police officer take blood from an unconscious victim. And Boner candidate number 3, get off my road.
All right, it's time to vote for round 1. Which one of these 3 candidates deserves to go forward to Boner Dome for Boner Fight and possibly become Boner of the Day? 1, 2, or 3. You decide which candidate. Put the number of the candidate you think should win in the message of a text. Send that text to 33986. You can go to x96.com and vote. Look for the box that says September 1, Round 1. Vote there. If you don't see the box, refresh. Or the good old telephone, 877-602-9696. Call, use your voice. 300 seconds. It's Round 1, Boner voting. Here we go.
X96 kicks off your workday with a 1-hour nonstop.
Hi, it's me, Richie T.
The producer of the show.
Yeah. And long-known maid person who makes people feel uncomfortable.
Yes.
Carrie
We've all been there.
For any number of reasons.
Carrie would say HR nightmare.
Just to let you know, because of all that just happened, you have about 2.5 minutes to tell the story.
I met someone last night at the theater who is more uncomfortable than I am, who makes people more uncomfortable than I am. Went and saw Beautiful. First Broadway touring show over at the Echoes of Theater. Gorgeous. If you're interested at all in that kind of stuff, it's so great. I went down at intermission to the bathroom.
Well, that's the Carole King show.
Yeah. Down at the in line for the urinal, and the gentleman behind me started talking to me, which is okay. We're in the bathroom. It's kind of, you don't talk in the bathroom, but lots of people do that. They wouldn't make him the most uncomfortable.
It's okay if you're not standing at the urinal. If you're in line, you could talk.
So then he and I, we happen to be urinals next to each other, right? And he continues to talk. Now, people will say my hair, as of late, is a little out of control. It's a little
Mary
unruly.
Claire's worried.
Yeah. To the extent that Gina's mom said, is he okay?
Okay.
I've had several people that have Facebook messaged me saying, are you, but seriously, are you okay?
Yeah, I would just advise you not to go to the zoo until you get a haircut.
I'm standing at the urinal next to the gentleman who I met in line waiting for the urinal. Bill, come here. You're going to be my prop for this.
Oh, God.
On the radio, that's great.
I've got the hair, and I've got product in my...
Tell HR to be ready.
I've got the product in my hair today. The gentleman reaches over while we're both going to the bathroom and starts playing with the back of my hair. Your hair has such body and bounce. How do you do that? Yeah, while we are both at the urinal using the bathroom.
That's a little much.
Did he give you his phone number?
No. And
did he give you $10?
Should have.
I would have asked him. I would have said, "Excuse me, but that costs $10."
I would have accepted either his phone number or $10.
What did you say?
I said, well, I just...
You're making me a little uncomfortable here.
No, I didn't want to make any sort of production about it as in the moment. I just was like, well, there's a conditioning gel that I use. Zip, turn, wash my hands, and walked away.
And you ought to see what I do with the hair down here.
Hey. So uncomfortable.
Now you know what it feels like?
So let me take this second.
Yeah.
If what I do to you makes you
it does
feel
sometimes.
like that,
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Okay. Well, I hope it's a good lesson. The massaging, the tickling on the side,
Sure.
that kind of stuff.
It's the same.
And it's not at the bath. Richie doesn't do that stuff in the bathroom.
No.
But sometimes he comes up and does his little tickling thing, or I don't care for it.
No.
Yeah. That's how it feels.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry.
All right.
Okay. Will you stop?
No, but
I didn't
I'm
think
sorry.
so.
Alternative music all day. X96.
7:47, time to award round one of your boner voting.
And round one is brought to you in part by some good stuff from a country.
Some good stuff from a country.
A country. Okay.
I can't remember.
And get 2 season passes to Solitude Mountain Resort with your qualifying new Chevy purchase at Riverton Chevrolet, your home of big savings, small prices. Go to rivertonchevy.com.
So we had boner candidate number one, Mommy needs to wake up. A little girl calling 911, 4-year-old girl from the back of the van where her mother had apparently was unconscious from an overdose of drugs in the front seat. The van not moving or anything like that. And the little girl was rescued and removed from the mother's custody. Boner candidate number two, stop, I did nothing wrong. The story of University of Utah nurse up at the medical center at the U. There was an unconscious patient there who'd been involved in an accident up in Sardine Canyon. A police officer from Salt Lake came and said, I need to draw a blood draw from that patient. There was a person killed in that accident, as a matter of fact. Now, the accident was apparently not the fault of the unconscious guy at the hospital.
Okay.
So he was not under any suspicion of causing the accident. The police officer said, I need to do a blood draw, and the nurse said, well, no, you can't do it without a warrant or without the consent of the patient.
Seems pretty straightforward.
Yeah. So, and she said, no, you can't do it. It's hospital policy, and it is the law. And they threatened to arrest her, and they handcuffed her, the police did, dragged her to the police car. She was eventually, I think, released, not charged, but still put through a lot of hassle for just doing her job the right way.
Well, I got several messages here from like nurses and paramedics and firefighters who say that the cops do this all the time. They threaten to arrest you, and you should know that they can't arrest you for that. And the nurse said that if I did that I would lose my nursing license.
If she allowed it to happen. Yeah. And then boner candidate number 3, get off my road. Shirtless man with a gun, threatening people who were in line in their cars to pick up their kids at a school. Zane won the boner T-shirt. And remember, next week, by the way, we're going to start giving away the boner T-shirt in the 8 o'clock round of boner voting.
Round 2.
Get some people that haven't had a chance to win it before.
The overwhelming winner, boner candidate number 2, stop, I did nothing wrong. The nurse.
That story, by the way, is
everywhere.
Everywhere. It's going worldwide. It's in the Guardian. It's CNN. It's everywhere.
It's kind of overshadowing the first day of September, in a way. You know? I mean, I think it'd be much nicer to spend time talking about Led Zeppelin, but that's everywhere. What are you doing in here, Stedman?
Well, I need some advice, and I also. I don't want to say it's a situation that makes it sound like it's perilous, but
my advice is don't let her talk you into it.
Okay,
that's my advice.
Gina,
you know it's not going to be her talking him into it. You know that.
Whatever she says goes.
Okay. So I, as Gina had mentioned earlier, and as a lot of friends of the program know, in owning the home Stedman, I am now a downtown-ish resident. And I have moved into a new ward or congregation of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
You know, the legislature.
Now, have you actually moved into this home yet?
But he owns it.
But I own it, and I go to the church for that particular area of where my new home is.
Is your dad ever going to let you move into your new house?
Yeah, eventually. Hey, things are moving.
Okay.
And as part of that, in my new ward, I have a new calling. I am the Elders Quorum Secretary, so that's the dudes.
You take notes?
Stenographer's book, and you have to wear a skirt?
No, I do take notes, and I am in charge of attendance. But also, one of the things that we do is the visits that you guys have sort of talked about here on the show, which is members of the Elders Quorum will go out one night a week and go to people like Carrie, someone that we would see on
inactive members,
or people that we maybe don't know anything about. I don't know who Carrie Jackson is,
so I want to snoop. Let's go find out what's up.
So the Mormons, because I know that this will
you're on the ward snoop patrol.
This will already be an issue with a lot of people. Is why don't you just leave them alone?
Yeah,
and I think the Mormon people would say, well, if you don't want anything to be with the Mormon Church, then don't be a part of the Mormon Church.
So Festus, my son, because I was being nice to in-laws at some point, they wanted to bless him, and I thought, oh, well, that's nice. A blessing's nice.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that was going to put him on the roll, and
he's on the radar now.
And wherever we would move, we would get Richie T, like folk knocking on the door saying, "Is Festus home?" And
is that why you changed his name? Is that why you changed his name?
Exactly. I'm like,
helps.
So that follows you.
Yeah, so that's part of it.
I used to get a call once a month in a place I lived in South Ogden, I think it was, from just some member of the ward that was, and who would call me once a month. It might have been the bishop, and say, "Hi, it's Bishop so and so." Yeah. Just calling to make sure everything is all right with you and your family. Anything you need. You guys okay? Any problems? Anything? And I actually started to think that was nice. I said, it's very nice of you to call, and thank you very much, but we're fine. And that's what I would say every time.
And so I try and take it from that approach, right? Like, listen.
Of course, then I
I'm
blocked
just
the number.
I'm just doing what I'm asked to do. We
Yeah.
don't know who you are.
Yeah.
Do you know where the ward is?
Yeah.
Would you like to feel like you had a friend? Do you want nothing to do with the church and have nobody tell me that, and I can write that down, and at least for a portion of time, no one will do that. Well, so we're doing visits last night, and I have the ability now, because of this calling, to see the ward list on my phone, and who should come upon it but Cody John Dangle, intern, the Dangler, our former intern, who's in my ward. He lives pretty close to me, but I would have never considered that we were in the same ward. I didn't know he was a Mormon individual.
Well, he's
now
not,
everybody
really.
does.
Of any sort of record. And so I sent him a text message. I said, I just want you to know, I just checked the ward list, and now, you're going to get a text message from me every Sunday morning, and I'll be ready for you. Church starts at 9, to which he responded, I'll have a cold beer for you at 12:30, and now that football season is I'll be ready to watch it with you. And I said, well, I'll make sure to come alone so I can drink your beer.
And did he also say, and please, as I've told you a million times, don't call me the Dangler.
It's Brother the Dangler.
Brother the Dangler.
Brother Dangler.
All right.
So
Thank you.
I don't
do I
think you're-
pursue it?
No.
No.
No. I think he's made his
Leave him alone.
feelings clear. Absolutely. All right. Would you go let the travel brigade in? They are here.
Yes.
And speaking of pursuing things, that nobody's pursuing anything. This literally, traffic is. If you needed to commute today, it's a good day to commute.
We really should be off today. We really should.
Lots of people taking advantage of a 4-day weekend.
All right. We're going to take a break. We'll be back. The Travel Brigade is here. They've got some tips for geek festivals, Comic-Cons, events.
Fan experiences.
Yes, coming up. Stand by.
Hi, it's me, Bill Allred, and as far as I'm concerned, there's nothing better than good conversation and good food. So I've put them together with a podcast called The Let's Go Eat Show. We eat good food and we talk to interesting people. Find my podcast at theletsgoeatshow.com.
I was reading one of those woman magazines.
One of your women magazines?
Like your
Ms., your Red Book?
No.
Ladies' Home Journal?
No, like Glamour or Allure or one of those.
Mary Claire?
And not tongue-in-cheek. Because a lot of times they have, helpful tips in there on how to, host a cocktail party.
Mm-hmm.
They had an article about tips on using weed at parties.
Using weed at parties.
Is it like etiquette? This is weed etiquette.
Yeah.
Like, is it proper etiquette to bring weed as a hostess gift?
Depends on whose party
Depends
you're
on-
going
Yeah,
to.
but I mean, this is an art.
Mhm.
They wrote it just like,
Yeah.
do you bring a bottle of wine to your hostess gift? If you bring weed, how do you go about? Do you smoke it inside? Do you go out on the porch? Do you offer some to other? If somebody else has brought it, what's the proper way to ask?
Are these articles written for people who have no common sense?
Yeah.
The point is that the point is exactly what the point that Drop's making is.
Is that back in the 50s, it was, you'll
And now
you'll
it's
go
like,
on a killing spree, and now it's don't smoke in the park.
or don't smoke in the house, take it outside. But and this is alongside pictures of women in black cocktail dress. They're not hippies with dreadlocks. It's your typical cocktail party.
Which is ridiculous.
You don't think people in black evening gowns are smoking?
No, I resent the fact that the middle class and the upper class has co-opted marijuana. It should be just the hippies, the patchouli oil wearing, dreadlock hippies, the tie-dye crowd.
It was just interesting that it was just presented in a.
But the way you describe the article too, it's just I'm still fixated on the fact that it's apparently written for morons.
Well,
it's just like what?
But but the type of people that read those kind of magazines
Are morons.
Maybe haven't encountered that before. I don't know.
Have not encountered common sense.
Well, the point is, the word I will take from you is common. It is now common. That's why it's appearing in magazines.
No, I see. I get that. That's an interesting part of it. But if it were about booze, it would also be for idiots. It's an article for an idiot. God,
they're not. Why does this make you? I just thought it was interesting. It wasn't, the New Yorker. It's a dumb woman's magazine.
Yeah, I know. It's I
get makeup tips out of it. That's what I'm going to that magazine for, not an in-depth article on pot etiquette.
America's manpower. As dawn comes out of the east and spreads down the quiet streets.
Radio from Hell. Gary, Bill, and Gina in the morning, and alternative music all day. X96.
Sponsored.
X96.
Oh, stop it. One too many.
Brought to you by Lucky's Auto Credit. $77 and a job gets you a car. 2 locations, Salt Lake City and Ogden. For program details or to apply online, visit luckysautocredit.com.
They're with us in studio. It's Jeff and Kathleen from the Travel Brigade. You can find out more about what we talk about here by going to x96.com or travelbrigade.com.
That is correct.
And,
sorry.
That's okay. And, well, you guys tell us. Hi, nice to see you.
Hi.
Tell us what you're talking about today.
Well, before we get started, we just wanted to talk about a giveaway we have. It's a beautiful time in the fall to hit the canyons here in Utah. So we have a beautiful gift card, $150 to the Alaskan Inn up in Ogden Canyon. So I just wanted to mention that. That will be our prize today.
That's where that's where the Hermitage used to be.
Yeah.
That's where the old.
Is that right?
Yeah, years and years ago, there was a place there called the Hermitage, and it was a big dance hall and bar.
But these are all little cabins.
Yeah. Now,
yes.
The Alaskan Inn, or they have individual cabins?
Mm-hmm. They have individual cabins, yes. I don't know that they do dancing and a bar, but
we
they do
didn't
have
see
cool
any
cabins.
hermits last time we were up
They
there.
bring you.
They bring you breakfast in the morning, and just you hear a knock on your door, and you open your door.
And then
Nice.
So at the end of this segment, we'll ask a question based on your listening and give it away that way.
Mm-hmm.
So, what do you want to talk about today?
Well, as the calendar turns over to September, some people are really excited that it's finally football season. Other people are counting down the days to 3 weeks from Comic-Con.
That's true.
Dum, dum, dum.
Now, there are a lot of great destinations associated with your favorite shows like Game of Thrones, Doctor Who, Star Wars. We're going to present some ideas here today, humbly offer them up before Carrie Jackson.
To see if I approve.
And see if he approves. Just so
looking at
everybody understands when it comes to the hierarchy of geekdom, Carrie is the grand Ayatollah. We're just a couple of radical clerics. So,
let me just say I'm looking at your list and I approve.
Oh, very good.
Let's start with Game of Thrones. Kathleen is a throny.
A semi-throny, yes.
I'm doing doing everything I can to stay off her Arya Stark list.
Yeah. I'm not going to lie, I have one.
Is that what you say? Is a throny?
A throny. I don't know. I know as I don't like clothes and I don't wear them very often, so I figured it was a great show for me to like.
Okay.
But one of the things that's really fun about watching the show is obviously the landscapes. They're pretty cool. They're done in a lot of different places. Whether
they're actual places you can go visit.
They are. Whether it's icebound or tropical, whatever. But Iceland is the setting for the Riverlands. The capital of Dorn is in Seville. And, of course, my favorite, the House of the Undying, is in Croatia.
Where's Westeros? I want to go to Westeros.
Westeros, I'm going to have to look Westeros up because I didn't see it on this list.
Well, that's where the Iron Throne is.
That's true. I've got my own Iron Throne. That's a long story. But Cheapo Air is offering a number of Game of Thrones packages. So Cheapo Air. You can find that on their website. Like, for an example, they have Barcelona, which is the setting for Essos. Thank you. I couldn't get that. And that's a October 5-night, 6-night stay in a hotel air package from New York for $770 a person. And then they have a whole bunch on their website. So cheapoair.com.
Okay.
I admit I'm sort of a rookie when it comes to this kind of stuff, but I have been to the Doctor Who experience in Wales. First of all, Wales.
Yes.
Everything you've heard about Wales is true. It is stunningly beautiful. Yeah, if you're looking online right now, we did see Daleks there. They film a lot of Doctor Who around Wales, and then there's a place just outside of Cardiff called the Doctor Who Experience, where you can see Daleks, you can see Weeping Angels.
Just a lot of props from the movie.
And what I found particularly interesting was a lot on the history, since this goes back, I believe, to the 1960s.
Yeah.
The different doctors, and yes, you do get to go in the TARDIS.
Yep.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Is it bigger on the inside?
It's super huge.
Bigger than I would have imagined. I didn't know how they were going to fit all
Jeff,
that
and
in
he's
it.
one tall dude.
Yeah.
So there you go. Of course, I know, Carrie, you're going to pipe in on this, the Marvel Superhero Island in Universal.
Which is, it's great. I had a fun time there. Now, when you say Marvel Superhero, don't think the movies necessarily. Think the comic books.
No, yeah, the comic books. And what's interesting, a couple things about this is, first of all, I love Disney, but you cannot beat Universal when it comes to their technology type.
They have big coasters.
Yeah, well, not just the coasters, but the technology,
the 3D stuff.
like the 3D, 4D stuff. It's pretty cool. The Incredible Hulk coaster is huge,
but Hulk coaster's great.
Yeah, but I like the Amazing Adventures of Spider-Man. I think that's super cool.
Yeah, it's a 3D adventure. You're in a car. It's like a motion ride.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a.
So you don't really go anywhere.
It's kind of. It's kind of like a cross between many formats. Let's leave it at that.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a touch feel 3D format with a coaster with some drops. With a great movie or screen going with you at the same time. It's super cool.
There's a couple of drops in there. It really does feel like you're falling down the side of a building.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the thing I wanted to mention, because I got a lot of questions about this when they knew we were going to bring this up, is what is the deal with Disney and Marvel and Universal and Marvel?
Hey, what's the deal with Disney and Universal and Marvel?
Hey, Bill, I have an answer for you.
Okay.
What it is east and west of the Mississippi. So anything east, you will find at Universal in Florida. Anything west, you will find at Disney.
They sort of carved up the territory.
Yes, they did.
Yeah, this was
so you will not find any Marvel at Disney World, and you will not find Marvel at Universal Hollywood. There.
This was back before Disney bought Marvel.
When can we as a nation come together?
We cannot. Not when it comes to Marvel.
Yes.
Okay, well, speaking of Universal Studios, they've got Wizarding World of Harry Potter. If you want to go beyond that, go to where Harry Potter's actually from, which is England, and go outside London. Oh, you've done this? Okay. Tell us about, how was it? It's the making of Harry Potter. It's in Warner Brothers just outside London, correct?
If you have kids that are into Harry Potter and you're going to England, you've got to go do this, because you go to the sets where they filmed a lot of it. They have giant models, the sweeping views of coming in and seeing Hogwarts. They have the models they use to film all of that. There's Privet Drive. You can go into Privet Drive and go up the stairs, and they have the costumes. It's just really, really cool. Well worth the trip.
Is there a place where you can go punch his uncle and aunt?
No.
Cost extra.
Should be.
Cost extra.
My kids loved it.
So we're going to talk about Star Wars now.
All right.
Can't not talk about Star Wars. First of all, Tunisia. That's where a lot of really great places like Tatooine and probably a half a dozen really great places. However,
I think you can go to the Lars Homestead, can't you? Or did it
I
get
believe
covered?
so. I believe so. But the problem is they're not on the safe list right now.
No.
So I'm going to go to somewhere else just in case you don't want to take that risk. I mean, I do think that, Carrie, you would agree there are some people, Star Wars fanatics, that don't care.
No, I've seen.
They don't care what the State Department has to say, and that's okay. Like, good for you. But we went to this thing called Star Wars Identities, which is really cool. Now, we went to see it in Canada. It moves all over the place.
When did they take Canada off the safe list?
They haven't. We snuck in.
Oh, okay.
We snuck in. And we went in Canada, but it moves all over the place. Right now, it's at the O2 in London. It's moving this next week to Netherlands. But what's cool about Star Wars Identities, and you can look that up as well, Star Wars Identities, it actually is sort of you create your own character, and it's more of a psychological approach to Star Wars. Mm-hmm. So not only do you see some really great memorabilia, but you do this like test as you're going through, like, what would you do in this situation? What would you do in this situation? Who do you identify more with? And blah, blah, blah. And at the very end, you find out where you end up. Oh. And, of course, I was on the dark side.
Of course you are.
Yeah, so fun thing to do, though.
Mm-hmm. Longest trip we saved for last, go down to New Zealand, to Hobbiton, where they filmed the Hobbit,
right
Lord of the Rings trilogies.
Yeah.
I looked at some of these pictures online. It looks really cool. They have all sorts of tours that you can do there, touring the sets and things. They've also got the Green Dragon Inn if you want to stop by for a glass of cider or ale. They have the Shire's Rest where you can eat. And so, again, we'll be posting all this information at x96.com
now,
and at
Jeff, just so you know, Jeff can't fit any of those places. So I visit.
He's taller than Gandalf.
Yes, and he has to crawl in if he wants a little view.
They have one of those height things, but it says instead of being, you must be this tall to ride.
You may not be this taller than this to get in.
Or you must be this short.
Yes, there you go.
Yeah.
And then coming soon, the Star Wars lands that are opening.
Yes.
In both Anaheim and.
Is it next year?
Sometime next year.
Yeah,
yes.
sometime next year.
Where are they putting that in Anaheim?
They broke down a couple. They shortened the Rivers of America to do it.
What?
Yeah, they had to
reroute. You mean the boring steamboat?
Yes,
will be
the
even
Davy
more
Crockett
boring?
paddle boards or
rerouted.
paddle boats.
Yeah.
Paddle
but
boards.
There was a section. There was a
paddleboard
section out in the back where there were some buildings and some horse stables and stuff where they were keeping the horses. They don't keep the horses on site anymore. They bring them in from another place. They took all that area and they're turning it into a really big Star Wars area in Disneyland. I thought they'd open up a separate park. I honestly did. But
well, and what's interesting is I heard they're keeping all that stuff in Fantasy or Frontierland too. Not Frontierland.
Adventureland.
No.
Tomorrowland.
Thank you, Bill. Ding, ding, ding. So they're not going to move that. So it's kind of. I mean, I don't know. I think it'll be great because I've really liked some of the stuff that they've added on there.
Well, they're not getting rid of Tom Sawyer's Island, I hope.
Oh no, it's still there.
Okay.
Modified.
Because I go there.
You might run
time.
into a stormtrooper there, though.
Well, it's all right.
So you can go packing.
Well, I have a question for our giveaway.
Yes.
So it's a $150 gift certificate to the Alaskan Inn in Ogden Canyon. If you can answer this tough trivia question, Jeff is taller than who?
Oh.
877-602-9696. We were very specific, saying he was taller than a certain character.
Yes, I did say that, didn't I?
Well, thanks, you guys.
You're welcome.
So you can see all this at x96.com or go to travelbrigade.com.
Safe travels. I know you're out of here.
Yep, off. Right. Go deal with TSA. Pre-check.
Fun. Pre-check rules. Pre-check rules. Thank you. Traffic, Gina, do you have that? Or is there anything?
I think everybody's probably at the airport getting ready to go out of town because they're not driving anywhere. We've had 0 incidents this morning to report, and friends of the program haven't even reported any, so that's traffic.
Maybe they're going up to Snowbird.
They could
that would be
yeah.
a good place if you didn't make plans for the weekend and you're thinking to yourself, we should do something. Easy. Oktoberfest up the canyon.
Oktoberfest is also on Labor Day, don't forget. So
extra day this weekend you can enjoy Oktoberfest.
So it's tomorrow, Sunday, and Labor Day from noon to 6:30. And, of course, Oktoberfest goes through October 15th at Snowbird. So you can go stay overnight, make it a weekend getaway. $105 a person per night. Just go to snowbird.com for more details on that. Also, season passes are now on sale. Seems odd, but
No, you get them now, and I think it's but only a week or two of the specially priced tickets. You want to take advantage of that now.
You till September 10th you have to get your season passes specially priced. So any kind of deal at Snowbird, the best place to find it is to go to snowbird.com.
Snowbird.com. Don't forget Oktoberfest is all this weekend up at Snowbird.
Strong Volkswagen and X96.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Radio from Hell radio players.
Sex. Boom. There, I said it.
You did it. Good for you. I love how you snicker and can't say that word with a straight face.
I didn't snicker. All I'm saying is our relationship expert is in the studio. And I made a breakthrough, didn't I? Didn't I?
What was it?
I said sex over the public airwaves.
Oh, by the way, I did get your email with all your questions. We're going to go through them one by one tonight.
All right, thanks for throwing me under the bus.
It's all good, brother. Big Daddy's here.
The birds and the bees. It's a conversation that is a famous in culture.
Oh yeah, critical.
What actual percentage would you say from your experience as a relationship coach, what percentage of families actually have this conversation with their kids?
You know, my gut would tell me 35%.
Really? See, I would have put it somewhere around like 5-10.
Well, I don't know, you think, but I don't know that they do a great job about it.
You know there's things we don't talk about, kids.
Right.
One of them is the birds and the bees.
I think we're getting to a day and age when more and more of it is happening. There are some great statistics about, teenage sex and things like that. And, those numbers are dropping, not doing it as much as they used to, amazingly.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that nationwide or just in Utah?
Nationwide.
Okay.
And, in fact, I'm looking for those as we're talking. I think what we're starting to see is, for example, younger adolescents, so younger than 15 years of age, are delaying sexual intercourse by a great number. In fact, here's some examples, some other statistics. Ages 12 to 19-year-olds report parents are their greatest influence regarding sexual decision-making and values.
Okay.
37% say their parents were the most important key as opposed to their friends, 33%. Siblings 5%, and the media. So parents, it's a critical thing that you talk to your kids. 94% of adolescents and 91% of, it's 94% of adolescents and 91% of parents believe that adolescents should be advised that they should not have sex before completing high school.
That's interesting because, for the most part, not the most part, but a lot of parents believe that their kids aren't going to listen to them.
Oh, yeah. No.
They don't have the kind of influence over their teenagers that they wish they had. But what you're saying is...
they expect it.
So, parents, step up. I think Utah, I believe we do have a bit of stigma around this topic. Sometimes we don't want to go there. Sometimes we think it's opening up a can of worms. But I think it's completely your responsibility, and, you would let your kid go and do something dangerous, without some advice, some information.
Like rock climbing, or...
Like rock climbing, right. You'd make sure they knew what was going on. You'd make sure that they...
or driving.
Right.
What the hell was that?
That was the Radio from Hell radio players.
What? How long was that?
Too long.
How long was that?
4 minutes.
What did they say?
And that was cut off.
And I still don't know what they said.
I have no idea what they were talking
There was
about.
more of it.
The lotion on its skin.
That's Kerry, Kerry. Or
else it gets the hose again.
Weekday mornings on X96.
Footnotes for the Radio from Hell show are available at x96.com.
Yes. Let's see, 8:20 right now. Time for round 2 of your boner voting. Please listen carefully. This is so damned important.
Yeah, and if you vote, a random voter could get Lost 80s Live tickets.
Lost 80s Live tickets to a random voter?
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, we're going to give you, this is round 2. We're going to give you 2 candidates right now, a third after the big boy news. These are examples of bad, stupid, or funny human behavior. Mistakes, boners, if you will. You've got to decide which of these 3 is the worst, most deserving to go forward to Boner Dome for Boner Fight and possibly become Boner of the Day. If this one wins, it does not make it Boner of the Day, it has to face the round 1 winner. So it's those 2, and we do that at 9:25.
All right, here's Boner candidate number 1, round 2. The lamestream media hates my dad. President Trump said Thursday that he would donate $1 million of his own money to the Hurricane Harvey relief effort.
Which I'll believe when I see it.
It's very nice.
Receipts.
It's a very, very nice thing for him to offer to do.
It is.
He offered to do the same thing in 9/11 and never. He called into the Howard Stern show and said, "I'm donating money." Never happened.
Anyway, he said that he would donate $1 million of his own money. Whether he does or doesn't isn't the point of this particular Boner candidate. The point is his son, Eric, that's Eric Trump, by the way, used that moment to attack CNN. When retweeting a Fox News story about the president's pledge on Thursday night, Eric added a message asking if CNN or the mainstream media would acknowledge this incredible generosity. My guess is they won't, he said. Unfortunately for the president's second eldest and least bright son, he guessed wrong.
Eric.
In addition to the announcement being widely covered following White House Press Secretary Sarah Huckabee Sanders' briefing, CNN covered the news on the air and online at least 3 hours before Eric Trump tweeted, "My guess is CNN won't even cover it."
So not even that they did it later, that it had already happened when he was saying that.
The
3 hours.
The best comment I saw about this story was, in fairness to Eric, he was probably still in his coffin and hadn't fed yet.
A few hours after his tweet, CNN's public relations team responded on Twitter with screenshots of the network's coverage of the president's pledge. The lamestream media hates my dad. Boner candidate number 1. Boner candidate number 2. We definitely picked the wrong bar to rob. 2 would-be armed robbers bungled an attempt to rip off a Maryland bar when they walked into the bar, which was hosting a police retirement party.
That's funny.
The officers were celebrating the career of a veteran sergeant at Moynihan's Pub on Woodland Lawn when Joseph McGinnis and Tyree McCoy walked in around 5:30 p.m. There are pictures of these 2 would-be robbers. I'd say that the police officers gave them probably what they had coming. You can tell by their mugshots there. They walked in. The masked duo allegedly demanded money from the register and ran out. Several off-duty officers followed them down the street and arrested them and apparently put quite a beat down, at least on one of them.
Yep.
I'm sure they weren't planning on being in a large room filled with police officers when they decided to rob the bar. Boner candidate number 2, we picked the wrong bar to rob.
I like it.
Coming up in a moment, boner candidate number 3. It's nicotine revenge. Nicotine revenge.
All right, so boner candidate number 3 after this here big boy news and opinioendo brought to you by
The Ruin and Sugar House, a modern bar open daily from 4 p.m. to 2 a.m. featuring weekly bingo, DJs, and live music located on Wilmington Avenue. Ruin, work is the curse of the drinking class.
Just wanted to bring this important news to you. This is very important news. There will be a temporary American Girl store at City Creek for the holidays. So, just so you know,
you joke. That's a huge deal.
Temporary American. What is a temporary American Girl? I'm not sure. I know it's a doll store.
It's a big deal.
I did this story for you because people like you think this is a big deal.
No, I don't. It is.
No, I know people like you think it is.
People travel to other cities just to go to this store.
Yeah, I know people do. Yes, they do.
They will be excited.
Gina, that's why I mentioned it. You are
imparting information that will make people happy. Hearing it, and they will say, I'm glad Bill Allred told me.
Gina, that's why I mentioned it.
No.
Because it's a big deal.
You're making fun of it.
Yes, but I know it is a big deal to some people. This not so much of a big deal. I don't think this should be a big deal at all, but people are really going to be. Are they going to be excited about Young Sheldon?
I don't know what that is.
Sitcom will center on Sheldon Cooper, the hugely popular character from The Big Bang Theory, played by perennial Emmy winner Jim Parsons,
who is the same in everything.
He's going, yes. What was that movie he was just in where he played a serious part? Oh, come on. It'll come to me. He was okay. Oh, he was in Hidden Figures.
Yeah.
He was in that. And he was okay in that. But anyway, it's him. Well, it's not him. It's young Sheldon, 9-year-old, growing up in East Texas in 1989.
There he is.
Is it going to work? Will people care?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I know it's a Chuck Lorre show. The Big Bang Theory was undeniably popular.
It'll
be interesting to see.
Wait, we have a young person here.
Someone to weigh in on this?
By the way, I also understand that young Sheldon was really into the American Girl, temporary American Girl.
I think that's true. Chuck Lorre has never had a bomb.
Never.
He's the most successful person in television.
Yep.
2.5 Men, Big Bang Theory.
Yeah.
I think Mom.
Yeah.
I mean, his track record. I'm not going to even comment on the quality of his shows, but when it comes to making a lot of money and getting viewed by a lot of people,
he does it.
He's the guy.
Yeah. Now I don't like any of those shows. I've seen them, but
I watched Big Bang Theory for a little while.
But like the American Girl, a lot of people really like it.
No laugh track in the Sheldon show, I don't think.
Well, that'll be a change.
He did Grace Under Fire, Sybil, Mom.
Mm-hmm. All exceptional, like the American Girl dolls, exceptionally popular among some people.
Mm-hmm.
Now, a wide swath of New Orleans was flooded, as we all know, after Hurricane Katrina. with some of the worst of it occurring in the white middle-class Lakeview neighborhood. But most of the images we had of Katrina sent us an image of a storm that captured a divided class. Really, the poorer people, the lower-class people in New Orleans, were the ones that were hit and most injured by the storm. At least those were the images we had. Tropical storm Harvey, Hurricane Harvey, on the other hand, not a respecter of any class.
Nope.
It took aim at the rich. It took aim at the poor. And Piney Point Village, a city of 3,125 people in West Houston, described as the richest neighborhood in Texas.
In all? Oh, is that where all the oil
really?
people
I guess.
Are?
Wow. It flooded. And so did Houston's historically black and poor Fifth Ward, 2 miles northeast of downtown. So it's just, that's just kind of an interesting difference to point out between the two storms. I read a really harrowing story, by the way, on Huffington Post, and it says, what is it like if you're in a house that's beginning to flood? Get a chance.
What do you do?
Well, no, it's just kind of more how almost helpless and hopeless it is.
You watch your things be.
Well, first of all, the water starts leaking in under the door, and you think, oh, geez, and you try to put something in front of the door, towels and stuff, and then you realize, wait a minute, now we're standing in 6 inches of water. And so you move to another part of the house where it hasn't started to leak. Your kid's bedroom. So it hasn't been leaked. Okay, I'll go in there. And it starts to come in there. And then you go back into the main part of the house and you realize you're standing in 3 feet of water. You think, well, we got to go upstairs. And you go upstairs, and then it starts coming up the stairs, and then you say, well, let's go to the attic. And this is over a period of hours and days, and you go to the attic, and then you realize, wait a minute, if we're stuck in the attic and how...
There's nowhere to go.
There's nowhere to go. And they were telling people, if you do go to your attic, take something that you can use to bust a hole in the roof, because really where you're the safest is on the roof if this is happening to you. Because they can't see you in the attic.
Yeah.
And then it was a really, well, you don't have to read it now. That's basically
I have reenacted it for you.
Yeah, that's basically what it was. The particular family that it centered around, they were eventually rescued, which was nice. President Trump is expected to end the Obama-era program that protects young, undocumented immigrants.
It's just the worst thing.
The DACA.
The DACA kids who are in school and not criminals and working.
They were brought here when they were 3. Yeah. This is where they live. They are,
most of them don't have never been back to whatever country they came from. Don't speak the language necessarily.
So here's what it says here. What do you think will happen if DACA ends? Well, if the program ends, they say they will be allowed to keep their work permits and have the right to work legally until the expiration date of that work permit. Even if DACA ends, the Dreamers will have no obligation to inform their employers that DACA has ended. Your employer does not have the right to ask you whether you are a DACA recipient or how you got your work permit. If your employer does not have the right to fire you, put you on leave, or change your work status until after your work permit is expired. If your expiration date is nearing, your employer might ask you for an updated work permit, but can't take any action against you until after it's expired. So it's not going to be like everybody's immediately going to line up and leave the country.
And there are a bunch of tech companies that are getting together and sending a letter that President Trump won't read.
Exactly, because he's already made up his mind.
That says, please don't do this, because there are highly skilled, intelligent, contributing members of our society that you're going to be getting rid of.
If you're listening to this and you're DACA, one of the Dreamers, and probably there are many listening to us right now that are. And there was a big rally here in Salt Lake. A couple of hundred people gathered at the Capitol last night to voice their concerns about this. So if you're a Dreamer listening to this and you don't have a Social Security number, get one. Apply for one now. And that will help protect you.
Can you do that?
Yeah, you can. It'll help protect you if you have a Social Security number. Now, here my prediction is, even if he Even if Donald Trump says, that's it, we're doing away with the dream. And I heard Jason Chaffetz on Fox early this morning saying, well, that's the law of the land. That's what he has to do. He has to do it.
No, he doesn't.
Now, these people, I'm sure there are a lot of good people, but this is what he has to do.
He doesn't have to, no.
No, he does, because, see, this is what happens because of Obama. Well, you don't go through the proper channels. You just sign an order.
And be honest, both of you, be honest. The reason that he's doing it is because it's an Obama thing. He's so obsessed with Obama.
And it's even beyond that, Kerry. It's, again, pandering to that
and pandering
core
to his
group
base,
of people.
yes.
See, I'm being tough on immigration.
Yeah. So, look, here's what I would think is going to happen, though. Just like the transgender thing, other people in the government are going to really drag their feet.
I hope so.
I hope you're right.
And say,
because it's the Trump Friday news dump. Everything he does, it happens on a Friday night, and he's going to do it this evening. I'm telling you, right before the holiday.
Yeah. But, there are some other things you can do if you're a dreamer and listening to this. They say get your Social Security number, make sure you have a valid driver's license. All of that kind of stuff, and it will help you in the long run.
Wrong.
All right, that's it. Sports, weather, traffic?
Go Utes! Yay! You were making a joke, Bill, yesterday saying, well, they're only playing North Dakota State, so I bet there won't be that many people there. It is the 45th consecutive sellout at Rice Eccles. It does not matter who they're playing.
As the number of people filing past my house would attest, it was
45,000, almost 46,000 people at Rice Eccles Stadium.
So it was a good game?
No.
No, it was.
What was the score?
It was 37-16.
So it's not really.
It sounds like
very
it was
competitive.
Good for the Utes, but
it was pretty rough.
The
first,
like I said in my last sportscast, I wish my last sportscast.
Oh.
I wish I had skipped the first quarter and gone.
Yeah, because it was slightly competitive. You don't want to see it.
No, it wasn't. It was terrible.
It was. I thought they did well.
The new quarterback was sacked on his very first play he ever played with.
That's what I mean. Is that the Dakota team, the high school team, gave them a little bit of problems.
There's some audio from the sidelines of the University of Utah where they're like, "Are we playing yet?
Did it start?"
And then
this wasn't the start, right?
Did we already?
This is a practice.
Is a scrimmage. No.
Oh, have a do-over?
Yeah. They looked terrible in the first quarter.
But they
got there. But
do you know what? It was the first game they got a whole lot of new people on the team. A lot of seniors graduated last year, so it was their first game with lots of new people, lots of young people.
Gina Barberi, Ute apologist.
But they ended up doing very well. They figured it out. They got in a groove, and
it's BYU's year. I'm calling it next week. We'll finally have a chance. It'll be our last time for 10 or 15 years.
You know why I think they got it together is that somebody slipped them the news that an American Girl store was going to open up.
Very excited
at City Creek, and they went, okay.
So now they play BYU
next Saturday.
And I thought that wasn't going to happen anymore. Didn't it?
No.
They
cooler heads prevailed.
Oh, okay. They fixed it. All right.
You guys realize how much money we can make on this game?
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
I don't know why it was ever an issue. That's sports.
Because they were being too mean.
Weather, it's warm and getting warmer throughout the weekend. It'll be 91 today. By Monday, we'll be up into the mid to upper 90s. Which is, Carrie, you keep playing this music like something's going to happen.
Oh, nothing?
I'll just use it as background music to tell you about Sean Hogan and Everest Collision Repair. They want you and your loved ones to get home safe and sound. Stop texting and driving. Download the Everest Collision app responsibly.
All right, here's boner candidate number 3 in round 2, nicotine revenge. A chef in India who was diagnosed with throat cancer is accused of seeking out and killing his co-worker because the co-worker was the one who introduced him to cigarettes and got him hooked on them.
Yay.
Mustaqim Ahmad told cops he was so enraged with the victim after receiving the grim diagnosis that he bought a pistol. The victim, identified only as Inayat, worked at a restaurant with Mr. Ahmad and Mr. Ahmad's brother-in-law. Through Ahmad, they were friends, but at the workplace, and Mr. Inayat was reportedly better at his job and more well-behaved, and soon became the favorite of restaurant owner of the restaurant owner. And increasingly frustrated, Mr. Ahmad developed a hatred toward Inayat, and he took up smoking tobacco as well as marijuana because he was so frustrated at this coworker.
You can't blame him.
And then he got throat cancer and blamed it on this guy, and he was so angry.
This is flawless logic.
He took a gun and found him and shot him to death. Boner candidate number 3, nicotine revenge.
There you go. Let's review the first two and vote.
Boner candidate number 1, lamestream media hates my dad. Eric Trump fails miserably trying to call out CNN. He said that my dad's donating $1 million to the Hurricane Harvey Relief Fund. I'll bet CNN doesn't cover that. Well, they did, hours before he tweeted that. Boner candidate number 2, we picked the wrong bar to rob. 2 men accused of trying to hold up a bar that was hosting a police retirement party. And Boner candidate number 3, nicotine revenge.
All right. This is round 2 of the Boner voting. You have to decide which one of these 3 candidates is the worst. Which one of these 3 is the most deserving to go forward to Boner Dome for Boner Fight and possibly become Boner of the Day. You've got 300, well, no, only 4 minutes to do this, so get your vote in. Here we go. 1, 2, or 3, the candidate you think should win. Put the number of the candidate in the message of a text. Text that to 33986. That's how you vote. Other ways to vote, call 877-602-9696. Use your voice. Or go to x96.com and look for the box that says Round 2, September 1st, and you can vote there. If you don't see the box, refresh. It'll appear. Like I said, only 4 minutes. Let's go. Round 2.
John Smith.
Gina, most people, when you go to a party and someone turns on the TV, the party goes from within about 15 minutes to everybody staring blankly at the television.
That's true.
And not talking to each other.
That is true.
So it'll be a good thing to do at the party.
Yeah.
The point of the party, you know, if you're having a TV party, then yeah, turn on the TV.
Yeah.
Otherwise, don't.
Yeah.
Is that why your parties don't work,
I don't
Gina?
know.
Could that
I'm not
be it?
good at having parties.
When's the last time you gave a party?
I don't know. What counts as a party? Is having people over a party? Or do you have to have, like, a celebration of something?
No, I think if you invite people over, it's a party. Even if it's a family dinner, it's a family dinner party.
Oh, then we have those all the time.
Do you?
Yeah.
And the TV goes on.
No.
After dinner?
No. No TV.
During dinner?
No. Music.
Oh.
That's it. No TV.
I love people who watch TV during dinner and have TVs in their kitchens and stuff. That's just really odd,
just says,
I think.
We don't want to talk to each other ever for any reason.
Yeah, it's just really strange. I knew a family who had a small TV on their dinner table, and they would eat dinner and watch television.
Sitting on the table.
Yeah, sitting on the corner of the dinner table, a small television, and it was on when they ate dinner.
So they never talked to each other.
No, not much.
Maybe that kept the fights down.
Well, that's what I'm thinking.
Now, when we watch TV and eat at the same time, it's because usually we don't have the time to do them both proper. You know,
so then do you take the food to the couch?
Yeah. Take the food downstairs.
When I first met my wife, I was not adverse to doing that. I was also not adverse to having a television in the bedroom, and she was against both of those things. And so we have not done them in, I haven't done them in years.
Mhm.
And now I can't imagine doing it.
Even having a TV in your bedroom?
No, God, no. No TV in the bedroom.
Why?
Especially not in the bedroom.
Why especially not in the bedroom?
Because
you don't like to get under the covers and...
Because it's useless. For me, it's useless. If I had a TV in the bedroom, I mean, when I go in the bedroom and get in the bed, you know what I do? Bonk, sleep. Within 2 minutes, I'm out. And if there was a TV in the bedroom, I would be out within 30 seconds. I mean, it would serve no use. It would just serve absolutely no purpose to me to have a TV in the bedroom.
Got to have a TV in the bedroom.
Do you always watch TV before you go to bed?
No. No, it gets turned on maybe once a week.
But you got to have it.
But you got to have it. The Saturday mornings when you wake up and you're not going anywhere and you're just kind of lying there, you're like, oh, let's see what's on.
Yeah,
that'd be
Let's
nice.
watch little cartoons.
See,
That would be nice.
You know what you need?
You know.
You need what we have is like a cabinet that you can just totally shut it off.
That's
so
what we have.
So you can
and then
pretend there's no TV in there until you really
The other
want
reason
one.
you need the TV in the bedroom is, well, the porn. But that's another subject altogether that
They have porn on TV?
Sure.
You can put the porn on TV.
Really?
Uh-huh.
You control the vertical. You control the horizontal.
No, the porn controls the vertical.
Radio from hell every morning. Alternative music all day. X96.
8:45. Time to award round 2 of your boner voting.
And round 2 is brought to you by, so it had rice in it.
This was not a memorable meal.
No,
Bill.
it was very tasty.
Oh.
I just can't remember the country that it came from.
Is this
We
that-
got it at that Spice
Kitchen?
I asked my wife, and she said it's from, and
something stand.
I can't remember. So.
And Even Steven Sandwiches, presenting Give Stock September 9th at Fort Buenaventura Park, featuring Dr. Dog, Joshua James, National Parks, Fictionist, and more. Get half-price tickets at Even Stevens locations or full price at GiveStockFestival.com.
So, boner candidate number 1, the mainstream media hates my dad. That was the Eric Trump tweet after Donald Trump promised to give $1 million to the Hurricane Harvey Relief Fund. Eric tweeted, it won't be covered by the mainstream media. I bet CNN won't even cover it. Well, they had. 3 hours before he tweeted that. And I got this little Twitter message from somebody who says, Trump promising $5 million for President Obama's birth certificate. Remember?
Yeah.
Okay, $5 million
to charity.
Yeah. But only $1 million to hurricane victims is about as on brand as you can get.
He shows you who he is every day.
He showed you every day when he was running, and you're all surprised?
Or you're still all okay with it?
You're still
That's
all
the
okay
one
with
I
it.
don't get.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, the American Girl store is going to be temporarily in City Creek, everybody. Does that cheer you up?
It's a big deal.
Gina, I know it's a big deal. That's why I keep mentioning it. Then there was boner candidate number 2. We picked the wrong bar to rob. A couple of men accused of trying to hold up a bar that was hosting a police retirement party. And you can see from the mugshots, one of the guys, they didn't fare too well in their robbery attempt. And then boner candidate number 3, nicotine revenge, was a guy in India seeking out the man who he blamed for getting him hooked on cigarettes because the guy got throat cancer, and he found him and shot him. There was a winner of those Lost 80s Live concert tickets. His or her name was Tracy.
Yeah, that could go either way. Is there an E? There's an E, it's a girl.
No.
Really? Okay.
And the clear-cut winner of the boner voting, boner candidate. Now, number 1 and number 3 split the vote.
Oh, okay.
Almost exactly the same number. So winning, boner candidate number 2, we picked the wrong bar to rob.
Interesting. Interesting. All right, so that one now goes forward to Boner Fight. It may become Boner of the Day. We'll decide that. Well, you'll decide that at 9:25. And then Dave the Flower Guy will come in and tell us who Boner of the Week is. All right.
I have a list.
You do?
The strangest addictions ever.
People love they love American Girl and they love lists.
This list comes from the secret sharing app called Whisper. I didn't know about this app.
What's it? Oh, to share secrets.
To share secrets. So these are secrets of weird things you're addicted to. Okay. Here's one. I have a weird addiction to radishes. I can't stop eating them. The taste is so delicious. It's my crack. I have a weird addiction to stealing useless things. Examples: an armrest off a chair in public transportation, a dress I hated, lots of socks, stealing. Weird addiction to buying baby clothes for future children. I'm not even pregnant yet. I'm addicted to pulling out strands of my hair. I don't know why. It's taking over my life.
That's now that one's
like
disturbing. That
obsessive compulsive.
Yeah.
My strange addiction is feeling ears, like on other people. Ears are things I don't think you touch on other people.
What?
Do you touch other people's
Sure,
ears?
of course. I mean, not
like,
only
hey, can I
people-
rub your ears?
Only people I'm intimate with.
But, like, do you?
They do that
I don't
on.
know.
They do that on Planet of the Apes.
Some
They do ear touching?
Some people, I've been with people who have lovely ears.
When the monkeys will, like hold the ear and pull you forward and go forehead to forehead. you
Yeah.
know?
And so that's ear.
Are these really addictions, though?
Yeah. I have a strange addiction to sponges, squeezing them and chewing on them.
Ew.
I know it's crazy. I should be on one of those shows, they say.
Chewing on.
I have a strange addiction to eating a 5-pound bag of all-purpose flour in a week for breakfast. I just eat.
Well, it's filling.
I just eat
That and a glass of water, and
a
you're good to go.
spoon.
Glass of water and a little shake of yeast, and you're fine.
My strange addiction, smelling laundry soap powder. Just like opening the box.
I enjoy it, but
Now, is this an addiction? I have a weird
I don't think
addiction.
any of these. A lot of these aren't addictions. They're just.
They can't stop doing
They're
them.
just odd behaviors.
I have a weird addiction of peeing in the sink.
okay, that's not an. That's just
No, I've heard people who do that.
I'm addicted to chicken broth. I drink it straight out of the box. I've got 20 of them in my fridge right now. That's an addiction. If you have like cold chicken broth just right out of the fridge.
That's gross.
Well, I don't know. You put a couple of ice cubes and a little vodka in it, it'd be okay.
In chicken broth?
Yeah. Listen, you put a little booze in anything, it'll be okay.
No, that's not, you can't put booze in anything and it won't be okay. But do you have anything like that you think people would think it was
Nothing that I
weird?
would reveal.
It has to do with ears, doesn't it?
No.
You got all excited when I was talking about the ears.
No.
Well, I'm obsessed with making sure that I remove all my ear hair.
See, I worry about my ears because that's a part of your body you can't see, so you can't make sure it's okay. You know what I mean? Like, have you ever looked at somebody and they've
I'm that
got
way about my ass because I can't see that either.
and they've got like the earwax just sitting there, and you're like, I bet they don't know.
Well, of course
Like if
they
it's
don't
a
know.
booger in your nose, you can look in the mirror and see it, but your ear, you can't. You can't see it.
You said booger in the nose, and that triggered me because I was watching TV and there was a news lady, a reporter, and she had a mole like right below her nose, and I know it was a mole, and I'm like, if that were me, I would have that removed because it looks like a booger.
Oh, it's like a permanent booger.
It looked like a booger. I would. Why don't you? You can have these removed. I don't. Anyway.
No.
Sorry. It was just
I
a
don't.
Trigger.
Yeah, there are things that I I have little weird obsessions, but nothing. I mean, I don't consider any of those really addictions. It's more obsessions or compulsions, but I wouldn't reveal them.
There's people weighing in, guessing the amount of steps it will take to get somewhere is something that they do.
What's wrong with that? I do that.
I count stairs always,
You do?
every time in my head.
That's obsessive compulsive.
Every time.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
I used to steal blinking road signs late at night. My dad would often come downstairs to do the laundry in the morning to find flashing signs from the lights.
Really?
That doesn't sound like an addiction.
It sounds like you're a kleptomaniac. You're obsessed with those one thing, that one thing.
Will you guys let me know if you see anything in my ears?
Well, your hair covers
your hair is always
I know,
down.
but now I'm worried about it.
I have no idea what your ears look like. I've never seen them.
Oh, can I tell you a quick story about my ears? This is a Mary Claire story.
Okay.
So, my mom told me, this was just a couple years ago, I got my hair cut, and she said, oh, it covers your ears so you can't tell that one ear is bigger than the other. And I said, what? She said, you have your one ear that's bigger than the other. And I'm like an adult, and she's telling me this. And I've never looked at my ear, but now you're going to look and you're going to see.
Well,
I mean, it's not like Stephen Colbert ear, but I have one ear that's big. But number one, how do I go my whole life and don't know that I have one ear that's bigger than the other?
I can't see it.
And now I'm obsessed with it. When I look in the mirror, I see it now. I never saw it before.
I can't see it. I don't think you have one ear that's
I
bigger than
do.
the other. I think this is Mary Claire trying to throw you off your game.
Bill, can you see?
Yeah, yes, I can. You know, the American Girl store offers a doll that has a doll. There's a doll with one ear.
One
bigger
ear.
Than, yeah.
Richie, come look at my ears. You tell me
I can
which
see
one's
it. No,
big.
I can see it. I can see it.
And I'm kind of mad she told me.
I don't
now
believe
it bugs me.
I don't think this.
I never noticed it before.
But see, you should keep your ears covered because when your hair's up like that, it makes your
It
nose.
is, huh?
Yeah, it makes your nose look big.
But how do you not know something like that about yourself? I'm like, why did you tell me that? I thought my ears were fine.
You just said yourself you can't really see your ears very well.
I kind of like you with your hair up.
Makes your nose look big. Don't put your hair
But your
up.
face
It's not
looks
about
thin.
my nose. This is about my ears.
Well, I know.
But look, she looks good with her hair up, doing it, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, you do.
I'm distracted, but yeah, your ears are totally different
should go in
sizes.
Yeah. Yeah, and one of them's darker colored, too.
No.
Yeah. Like one of them is, yeah.
You may have a doctor look at that spot on that ear.
So thanks a lot. Now I have ear shame. I wish I could have gone my whole life not knowing that.
She doesn't have her headphones on, so she doesn't know that it's time to break and that she should do traffic. So
You keep saying that, and I keep telling you there isn't any.
Okay.
Well, you have a sponsor, don't you?
I don't even have that this
All
time.
right. We'll take a break. We'll be back coming up. Aaron Woodall, who is a comedian, local comedian, has a Netflix special. Local Boy Made Good. We'll talk to him coming up.
We also should tell you about
Yes.
Mattress Firm and their what they're doing with the Hurricane Harvey. You know, Texas, Houston, Texas, surrounding areas dealing with all of that. Now, Mattress Firm is going to help out. They're donating $1 million in product to people in the Houston area. So beds, mattresses, blankets, pillows,
All of those are needed.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, a portion of every purchase made in any of the Mattress Firm stores through Tuesday, September 5th, will be donated to provide an additional $1 million worth of pillows, blankets, and mattresses for people who've lost their homes and have to rebuild. Mattress Firm stores are also equipped to accept monetary donations. It'll go to the American Red Cross Hurricane Harvey Relief Fund. Donations can be made online. You can visit mattressfirm.com. You'll find a store near you if you want to go in and do it directly, or you can donate online at mattressfirm.com.
I can just go to mattressfirm.com and donate there.
Sure.
Oh,
That's very helpful.
They're nice people there.
All right, thank you. Attention, Utah residents. Radio from Hell is doing another Not Safe for Work podcast live at the Ruin and Sugar House Friday, September 8th from 6 to 8 p.m.
You can RSVP right now at x96.com to save your place at this event. This event will fill up. They fill up very quickly.
But wait, there's more. Sister Dottie from Spanish Fork will be there too.
Say,
all right,
hey,
give me a pack.
Somebody give me a carton of Marlboros right now.
As much of a food lover as you are, I'm curious what heavy smoking does to the taste of food, because I would think everything would taste like cigarettes.
They say that oh, when you quit smoking, your palate wakes up, and I've never really noticed any difference at all.
You don't have that taste in your mouth
no.
all the time?
And there's a lot of people who find it really satisfying, after a meal, you light up.
Yeah, now, that's the one thing, after having a nice meal, to have a cigarette after a nice meal.
A little scotch,
That's the best,
Gina, I probably already know the answer to this question, but have you ever smoked a cigarette?
Shh. Nope.
Not at all?
Nope.
Not even a fake one?
Nope. I've never even put an unlit one in my mouth.
Really?
Nope.
All of these questions could apply to her sex life as well.
Never even put in...
Fake one,
No.
the real one, never addicted. No.
Because in high school...
After a good meal, no.
In high school, I smoked a ginseng cigarette, a whole pack of ginseng cigarettes, actually.
What?
I was
Or
in
you
the...
mean clove?
No,
cigarette?
they were ginseng. I got them at a GNC or something like that, and it was for a show I was in, a play that I was in. I had to smoke on stage.
I have to smoke.
And so I did. And
Yeah, you do.
And I liked it. I didn't like it because I thought it
Well,
tasted
that's-
good and it burned. I liked it because you could go, you see? Yeah.
No, that's one of the
flick it.
reasons I never tried it, because I was worried I would like it.
Also
And
applying
then-
to your sex.
Yeah, worried I would like it.
That's not any of the reason you never tried it.
That's part of the reason.
That's not
No.
even
That
a
is
tiny part of the reason.
Yes, it
The
is.
tiniest part. The reason is your mother told you not to.
Well, that's a big part
That's
of it.
the only reason.
That's what you should do. Here's your adventure. Smoke a cigarette.
There you go.
I don't want to smoke a cigarette.
It's just one. It won't
Too
hurt
many,
you.
too many boundaries, Gina. Too many boundaries.
How many times have I heard that? Just one, it won't hurt you. It's just one.
I think the reason that Gina never started smoking was she heard the phrase "if she smokes, she pokes," and that's when she decided that it was probably not a good idea to.
Yeah, I mean,
Don't want people to think,
Yeah, or she doesn't want people to think she's easy or a nurse.
That's right. We have been talking a lot about smoking today, haven't we?
Yeah.
God.
But it is true.
Just change the bong water every time. That's all I'm saying.
I'm sorry, but it is true. If the old say, if she smokes, she pokes. It's pretty much true.
Yeah, that has been my experience as well.
So then it makes sense that I
That's why she didn't.
didn't.
Telling you right now, that's why she didn't. She didn't want to look like a slut.
And it's why she still doesn't.
Couldn't you smoke? Get one of those like Hunter Thompson cigarette holder things.
FDR.
The elegant.
And then hold it like this.
Yes.
Up like Greta Garbo or something like that.
It's true. I was worried I would like it. And I have no self-control. None.
You have you?
No.
No, she doesn't have any self-control. That's why she never does anything.
Would you like another Coke, Gina?
Yes.
All right.
Someone get Gina an eclair.
I don't want an eclair.
Oh, yes,
I have
you
no
do.
room for an eclair.
Yeah, get Gina. Look at those delicious
See
pastries.
this right here? Biscuits
Look at
and
that
gravy. Just they're sitting there.
I know. Oh man, I'm in bad trouble.
I'm
going
gonna
to
have the burger later. That's going to be interesting.
Sentence number 1 in Spanish, please.
¿Qué dijo el pavo de Acción de Gracias después de la cena. Estoy lleno.
Wow.
¿Qué dijo el pavo de acción de gracias después de la cena? Estoy lleno.
Yes, no. Estoy lleno. Ajá.
Estoy lleno.
Estoy lleno.
Estoy lleno.
¿Qué dijo el pavo de acción de gracias después? Después. Gracias después de la cena estoy lleno. Wow.
Estoy lleno.
Gracias después.
Wow.
All right. Okay, that's good, Gino.
All right.
And in English, Mario?
You know, I was talking to someone, and then they said, how come Gina always said just the last word? She never said the whole sentence. Estoy lleno.
How do you say because she's very lazy?
Porque es muy floja.
Muy floja.
Muy floja. Go ahead in English, Mario.
Okay. What did the Thanksgiving turkey say after dinner?
I don't know what.
I'm stuffed.
Estoy lleno.
Stop.
Estoy lleno.
Estoy lleno. All right, and sentence number 2 in Spanish, please.
Algo de porra para Brigham Young. Otros para la Universidad de Utah. Yo le voy a las porristas.
Algo de porra para Brigham Young. Otros para la Universidad de Utah. Utah. Yo le voy a las porristas.
Sí.
Algo de porra para Brigham Young. Otros para la Universidad de Utah. Yo le voy a las porristas. ¡A las porristas!
And that is in English, Mario?
Some cheer for Brigham Young, others for the University of Utah. I cheer for the cheerleaders.
Yay! The only way to go.
But not when my wife is around.
No.
Yep.
No. Mario, are you going to have a big traditional Thanksgiving dinner?
Yes, sir.
What will you have?
We're going to have turkey. I'm sorry, pavo.
Pavo. De acción de gracias.
What else will you have?
You know, usually we met at El Farol.
Oh, do you?
We met at El Farol, so we all bring a dish.
Yeah.
So
and have
pavo is gonna be there for reals.
So you'll have the turkey at the restaurant, and
then some other dishes, salads, and.
What will your wife bring, or do you cook?
I don't cook.
Yeah, your wife will cook.
My wife will cook,
and she will bring.
Let me call her.
No, it's all right. Thanks, Mario.
I don't know what she'll bring.
I'm sure she appreciates the fact that you know what she's bringing.
And tamarind.
I'm all right with tamarind.
Are you sure?
Well, I like A1, I must be.
Do you know what tamarind is?
No, I have no idea what tamarind is.
Okay.
What is it?
I'm not going to say.
You don't know.
Yeah, I do.
What is it?
It's a fruit.
Bill used to play the tamarind.
In the Mamas and the Papas.
In the Salvation Army. I was the tamarind player.
Hey, Mr.
Tamarind Man, play a song for me. We did it
it's
again,
the Gina B and Richie T. There it is. That's the show you're going to get.
Does anybody here know what a tamarind is?
It's a fruit.
So listen while I play my green tamarind.
It's
like a citrus kind of.
Fruit. It's kind of sour. It's very sour. One of my favorite things to get at a Vietnamese restaurant is tamarind broth soup.
I like to get tamarind sodas at Mexican places.
It's related to the date.
Oh, I had no idea. There you go, tamarind.
Cousin of the date? Or
I think
neighbor?
No, it's related. So I believe it's an uncle. It's an uncle to the date.
Uncle Tamarind, shut up. We're tired of your stories about flavoring A1. We don't believe you.
Oh, these people have brought us a cake.
No, that's not for us.
It's for size 9.
Happy 25th
Is it your birthday
birthday to...
Oh, happy birthday.
You know what would be really funny is if that cake slid out of the pan right now onto the floor. Holding it kind of sideways.
To the people, they are coming to the complex on Tuesday. I told Gina to pick a song.
I know we play it a lot, but I like that. I really do love that Pumped Up.
I just
Kicks
wanted
song.
something.
No,
something
it's
different.
that's good too.
Different.
I was just, I just love that song. Every time I hear it, there are very few songs that just catch me. You know,
That
the
one-
catchiness of them. That's
one
one
get
of
you-
them. I
get
don't
you?
know why.
So Aaron Woodall,
hi Aaron.
I put
Hey.
I put your special on Netflix, and apparently
Thank you,
it's-
Carrie. Thank you so
there's
much.
another comedian that is going to be coming in. I'm sorry, it's not
Yeah.
you.
But-
It's
Aaron, you're doing a special.
You
I am. I'm filming a special this Sunday, 7:30 at Wise Guys, the Wise Guys downtown at the Gateway.
right over here.
And maybe
Yep.
Carrie, maybe he's psychic. Maybe
Yeah.
he just is seeing that.
I'll pitch it to him.
Maybe I
Netflix
just
in your future.
Maybe I just put a little magic on it. Right
Oh,
there.
thank you.
So what are you going to? What will you do with the special once you tape it?
Well, we actually, the production company I'm working with, we are going to pitch it to a few streaming services like Comedy Dynamics. Well, CISO was one of them, but now they're folding.
gone,
but
yeah.
but most likely, I'm just putting it up on iTunes myself, just having it on my own thing, just generate my own revenue like that.
That's a good idea.
Well, pitch it to Netflix.
Yeah, I will. I
Might
will.
as well. Might
I'll
as
tell
well.
them Carrie recommended me for them.
There's this guy. He said it should be on.
So Aaron, your comedy, I assume this comes from you, is described as, it says depression, bitter anger, soul-crushing loneliness. And you
don't seem depressed.
You
That
lost
comes
your,
from me.
You
Yeah.
lost your wife, your religion, your innocence, and your childhood dog.
Mm-hmm. All in the same year.
Donald Trump got elected.
That also happened. Yeah,
all
it's
of
been
those-
a rough year.
All of those, but the dog could be good things, right? I mean,
Well, I don't know about
or Trump.
the
I mean,
last one. Yeah.
Well, not the Trump for sure. But I mean, when I have friends who get divorced, I always ask them, congratulations.
Yeah.
No, yeah, it is. I know that in the future I'm going to be better off.
You are.
But it's just you have to go through all the ugliness first. And I have coped with that through jokes, you know?
You're bitter right now.
Yeah, I'm getting better. I'm getting
That's good.
better.
That's good.
There's still bitterness. I actually got a email to my website after a show that I did that someone was like, I understand life can be hard, but you need to let go of the bitterness in your heart. And I was like, oh goodness.
Now you don't still follow her on social media, do you?
Oh no,
Okay,
not at all.
good.
Only because she's blocked me on every single
Oh, okay.
platform.
That's part of the healing process.
That's part of getting
It's
better.
not-
Now, did losing what came first? You lost your wife and then your religion and then your innocence, or did you lose your innocence and then your wife? How did that?
All right, so I'm Mormon, right? And I feel like we left the religion together, my wife and I.
Okay.
And we were like, I feel like she was waiting on me, you know? And I said, hey, I just don't think this is true anymore. I think I'm done. And then she said, oh, thank God, because I've been waiting to divorce you for so long. And I was like, what? No. My dad always said if I left the church, my life would fall apart, and he was right. Oh, my goodness.
Why didn't you just run right back to the sheltering arms of your religion now?
I actually am so glad that I did, that I was out first. I feel like the way that I feel like I had stripped everything away from me, and I had to find out who I really was. If I had still had that institution to go to, I would just be letting that define me.
No,
you know?
it's Aaron Woodall we're talking to. He's going to be doing a taping for a comedy special at Wise Guys when?
Sunday,
September
3rd at 7:30.
The Wise Guys here at Gateway.
And Radio from Hell listeners can get half off tickets if they buy their tickets online and use the code X96.
Cool.
What happened to your dog?
She was just old, you know.
Oh, well,
she was 15. I actually got to be there. I was at my parents' house the day that she passed and got to bury her and stuff.
That's what I always say when people ask me about my mom. Well, she was just old.
You don't have any dead dog jokes, do you?
No.
Okay, good.
No.
No, some things are sacred.
Yeah, some things are sacred.
I don't want
Let's
any.
make fun of marriage, divorce, love, affairs,
Yeah.
but let's leave dogs
That's
out
what
of
I
it.
was
Come
gonna
on.
say.
What was the dog's name?
Shadow.
Oh,
Shadow.
This is now just a shadow.
Good old
Yeah.
Shadow.
Well,
I love how you guys are way more sad about my dog than my wife.
We've
it's a
all
good
been
thing.
divorced.
We've all members of the
Divorce can be a good thing.
It's
practice
an American rite of passage at this point.
Well, it's your
I think.
practice marriage. You
Yeah.
make all the mistakes in that one, and then the next
Hey,
one.
Dylan, wasn't it a better thing that I divorced your mom? Yeah.
Oh God, I hope my son says that one day.
Well, wait a minute. I mean, she divorced me, but
Well,
yeah.
But you know what I mean.
Yeah. It's a better thing for the family in the long run.
Mm-hmm. Often it is.
Yeah.
That was certainly the case in most of our cases.
Yeah.
So it's wiseguyscomedy.com. Just use the code X96.
Yep, X96, and you'll get half off tickets for this Sunday at 7:30.
Well, good luck with the special.
Thank you.
I hope that maybe I put a little voodoo in there.
Oh, I hope so.
Netflix picks it up.
Are you looking for a new woman?
Not yet.
Good.
No.
Good answer.
No.
That was going to be our suggestion.
Good answer.
All right, Aaron Woodall. Hope it goes well. Thanks for being
Hey,
here.
thanks for having me on, guys. Thank you.
Thank you. And good luck. Okay, time for the Gray Whale Entertainment Report. Friday is the new international release date for all music, and that means there's new music, movies, games, records available. Locally owned and operated Gray Whale near you. Here we go. Music, new ones. LCD Sound Systems, new ones.
Oh.
Yeah, they were going to retire, and then they decided no.
Change their mind. American Dream is what it's called. Now, I'd have to ask Todd about this. OMD.
Orchestral Maneuvers in the Dark?
They have a new one called The Punishment of Luxury, so I'm wondering if this is all new stuff from them?
I don't know.
Or is it? I don't know. So let me know, Todd. Dalek has a new one, Endangered Philosophies. Verve has a new one. It's the deluxe anniversary of Urban Hymns.
Oh, well, good.
And for the first time ever, it says here, the soundtrack LP for Predator. Really?
All right.
That seems odd to me. Oh well. Movies. Baywatch is out. You can see The Rock in Baywatch. There is an animated Batman and Harley Quinn movie.
Animated.
Okay.
Okay.
And this is the signature edition of The Lion King is available.
Yeah, you need that.
You need that. TV on DVD, Star Wars Rebels Season 3, which was very good. And so there you go. GrayWhaleSLC.com is their new website. New and improved, ready for you. Real-time inventory searches, Killer Whale member discount availability. You can use your store credit for purchasing. They constantly update you on sales, promotions, and events. Trade in your old stuff for new stuff. They want your music, movies, games, books, and vinyl. You can get cash or store credit toward the purchase of something new at any Gray Whale location. Join the Killer Whale Club. You'll receive a lifetime discount. Like and follow them on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Gray Whale SLC. That is your Gray Whale Entertainment Report.
Attention local bands. Broadview Entertainment Art.
I had a Mary Jane candy yesterday.
I've never heard of a Mary Jane candy.
Mary Jane's. Mary Jane's.
You
Never?
get that in Colorado?
It's you ever heard of Mary Jane?
No.
Famous old candy. Originally made in 1914.
That's probably stale.
By the Charles N. Miller Company, later by Stark Candy Company, now manufactured by Necco.
Oh.
And
did you go back to Backyard Birds?
no, my 11-year-old daughter, little Mrs. Bill, went up to the 7-Eleven and came back and said, "Look, they have Mary Jane's up there."
She knows what that is?
Sure, she's had them before. But listen, we know candy in our family.
Old candy.
And new candy. They know all kinds of candy. The candy, Mary Jane's, Charles Miller invented this candy and named them after his favorite aunt, Mary Jane.
Ah.
And there's a picture of a little girl on
Wonder how his other aunts felt about that.
well, he had a favorite aunt, Mary Jane. Maybe he didn't have any others, but they're terrible.
Really?
I'd forgotten how terrible they are. I think they maybe used to be a little better. It's peanut butter, essentially, or peanut. There used to be peanut butter, sort of more peanut butter in them, and peanut butter and molasses.
Oh.
And they're chewy, like taffy.
Yeah.
But now they're just more sort of molassesy and sugary and very little peanutty. I was disappointed, but she was excited to find them and enjoyed them. Never had a Mary Jane? Would you eat a Mary Jane if somebody gave you one?
Not when you've described it, how terrible it is.
Well, but I mean, if I just said it was peanut butter and molasses, would you go, "Oh, I'll try that"?
Yeah.
You don't have anything against molasses?
No.
It's just kind of.
What would I have against molasses?
Well, I don't know. You have weird food things.
Molasses is fine.
I thought, I think it's.
I have things in common with molasses.
That's. Well, you're as slow as it.
Yes.
But in January, that's what my mother used to say. Would you hurry? You're as slow as molasses in January, which is I think the slowest of all molasses.
And I'm referencing Bugs Bunny twice again on today's show.
Yeah.
He was borrowing a cup of molasses from somebody. He had his coffee cup. Elmer shot a hole through it.
Uh-huh.
And it's snowing around, okay? And it starts to run out, and he goes, I didn't think molasses would run in January.
But
there you go. And then of course there's all different. There's blackstrap molasses, which is the really. See, I didn't think you'd like molasses because it's too strong.
It's
it's like strong syrup.
You don't need a spoonful of it. It's an ingredient amongst other things.
Some people use it in lieu of syrup on things.
Ew.
They'll drizzle molasses on their pancakes or on cereals or whatever. I find it a little. Oh, and the brand of molasses that you buy in the grocery store
has a rabbit on it.
It's Brer Rabbit.
Yeah.
Brer Rabbit molasses. So I
insist on Brer Rabbit molasses.
When buying molasses.
I don't think we can go into the whole reason that why Brer Rabbit might be on the.
Ask your grandpa about Song of the South, kids.
Yeah. Or when you go to Disneyland, what is it? Big Thunder
Splash Mountain.
Splash Mountain. Splash Mountain is full of characters that Disney no longer promotes or uses.
But they're in there.
Yeah, that ride.
But that's the only place. Your laughing place. Isn't that what they say?
Yeah.
Your laughing place.
That's where Brer Rabbit is.
Yeah. I like that ride, actually.
Always get wet.
And it's a nice place to cool off at Disneyland.
Mm-hmm.
Alternative music all day. X96.
What was that from?
That was from Weeds. That was Lee Majors.
That was Lee Majors?
Yeah.
We've been very $6 million man heavy today.
I played that for Oscar Goldman. Let's see now. Todd, of course, texted me about the new OMD album. He says that it is all new stuff. Bought it this morning.
Of course he did.
And it's good. Lots of Kraftwerk influences. There you go, Todd.
Ooh, Kraftwerk influences.
All right, so if you were curious, there you go. All right, we got Boner Fight coming up in a moment. But first, a little bit of news.
Brought to you by this Labor Day weekend. Drive to beautiful Heber for the Vitabone Soldier Hollow Classic Sheepdog Championship. 4 days of fun for the whole family. Buy your tickets at the door or at soldierhollowclassic.com.
4 days of dog-loving fun.
Yeah.
Now, this is a story from Men's Health magazine. And it says here that 50% of men could not find a woman's vagina on a diagram.
God, you gotta warn people when you're going
to... What's wrong with the word vagina? Nothing. So they showed them a diagram of a woman's body, not a picture of a diagram. So, and they say, how many female body parts can you name? And they're numbered. And I know, like, they're the fallopian tubes you can see there.
Yeah.
And
Are you looking at the diagram right now?
I'm looking at the
curious
diagram.
if Richie can do this. I'm serious.
Well, and the only reason I bring it up, and it's only 50%. But why is that surprising? Because 50% of men cannot tell you what their own body parts are. Really? They can't tell you what the
vas deferens?
The vas deferens
They don't know what the vas
the glands.
Richie,
they don't know the glands from the vas deferens from the
No, I don't want to see it.
Glands is one thing, but this is kind of a
and I mean, they asked them. Now the diagram, I should probably post it.
Yeah, let me see the diagram.
Or if we could go to X, come around here and look at it.
All right, let me come around.
You can go to x96.com maybe /live, or we get. So there's the diagram.
All right.
Now, it's pretty.
It's when you'd see in a doctor's office.
Yeah.
Okay.
So do you know on that diagram where the vagina is?
Well, I think.
Put your finger on the vagina.
No, don't.
Which one?
That's
you're right.
Right.
Yes, you're right.
It's the open.
You're right.
But you don't know what the other stuff is.
No, I know. No, because Mom does. Mom does this all the time, and I have my hands raised in the air like a Y with my hands pointed down.
Yeah.
And she goes, "Here are your ovaries in your hands, and the fallopian tubes,
Yeah.
and then there's this part which your body is, and I don't know, and then your feet are your vagina."
What
your mom does this often?
More often than you would think.
Is it any wonder you're so screwed up?
No, I'm glad she's talking to you about these things.
Fallopian tubes. Those are the fallopian tubes.
Your arms are your fallopian tubes.
But
Your
again,
hands are where your ovaries go.
But again, the main reason I bring it up is that most men can't name you their own body parts, their own sexual reproductive organs, parts of the.
Men are dumb. That's what you're saying, Bill.
They're just dense about stuff.
Sometimes
like
I get urethra and uterus mixed up.
You don't have one of them.
Yeah, the urethra is like
Richie.
It's your pee tube, right?
Yes. Richie, if you get them mixed up, you're never going to have kids.
That's right.
Ever.
Take your ovaries and go, Richie.
Judge has sided with Brewvies over the Deadpool deal. Now, this is this case has been going on for a while. A couple of DABC narcs went to Brewvies undercover and went to see Deadpool, and they bought some beer and took it into the theater, and then they said, "Ha! This violates the ordinance we have in Utah that there can be no sexually oriented stuff around alcohol, because you can't buy, because there's nudity in Deadpool."
It's a rated R movie. It's not porn.
I don't even remember.
It's not.
Yeah.
It's one scene.
Yeah.
It's one scene. It's so quick, and I don't even think. I mean,
again, it got an R rating. It's not.
Well, it got an R rating for blood. It's. I don't even. I mean, honestly,
is there any nudity?
Yeah.
You see her breasts briefly.
That's
very briefly.
And there's kind of a.
You see his butt,
and there's a sexy scene.
Yeah,
yeah,
but no, yeah,
but no worse than you see in other things.
Yeah,
Brewvies was faced with revocation of his liquor license because Utah law forbids licensees from showing full nudity or sexually explicit conduct. Brewvies sued the DABC, challenging the law, and Judge Neufer said, I side with Brewvies on this. They're not a sexually oriented business. Yes. It's not like a strip club or something like that. So there you go. Texas abortion restrictions. A federal judge has temporarily blocked Texas law that would restrict most second trimester abortions in Texas. So that's a temporary stay, but.
You mean the ones that don't happen very often except in extreme circumstances? And it's between you and your doctor to decide what those are? Those kind?
Yeah. Yes, Gina, yes.
Okay, I'm just
checking. Second trimester.
I see it. Chat room's reminding me about Deadpool. There is a strip club scene where there's lots of breasts, but it's it's still nothing salacious.
It's Boner Fight.
By the way, Judge Neufer also
on X96.
In his ruling said he was very excited about the American Girl store opening.
It's in the ruling. He put it in there.
City Creek.
He was very excited.
So here we go. The fight between the winner of round one boner voting going up against the winner of round 2. Round 1 was Stop, I did nothing wrong. Utah nurse at the University of Utah Hospital being dragged out in handcuffs to a police car after refusing to let a police officer take blood from an unconscious victim. She was following the rules of the hospital. She was following her licensing ethics, and she was following, apparently, according to our attorney, the law, which says you can't take a blood sample from an unconscious victim because you have to either have a warrant, you have to have the consent of the patient, or you have to, what's the other one? There's another condition.
No, just a warrant or consent of the patient, either one.
Anyway, so she was dragged out to the police car. Now, she wasn't ultimately charged.
No, but they were intimidating her into doing it. And she could have lost her nursing license if she had done that.
Yeah. And there is another condition, unless the patient is under arrest, and the patient was not under arrest. All right. So that's the other condition. All right. Now that's boner candidate number 1. Boner candidate number 2. Man, we picked the wrong bar to rob. 2 would-be armed robbers go to a bar in Maryland. They go in to rob it, and they walk into the middle of a police retirement party. They did not fare well. One of them looks like he was beaten up pretty good, and they were arrested and charged with robbery. So there you go.
There you go. It's Boner Fight. You need to decide who is Boner of the Day. Which of these 2 candidates is the worst? 1 or 2. Put the number of the candidate in the message of your text, and text that to 33986. You can call 877-602-9696. Or you can go to x96.com and look for the box that says Boner Fight September 1st. And if you don't see that box, refresh. It should appear. All right, you got less than 300 seconds to get your vote in. Here we go. It's Boner Fight, Boner of the Day.
Give me something. After Radio from Hell, we'll kick off your workday with a 1-hour nonstop music wingding at 10 a.m. on X.
I've got a show. I'll be playing Flynn in Twilight.
Light.
Light.
L-I-T-E?
L-I-T-E. Yep. I'm the bully. You know.
Are you the wolf boy?
No.
You're not the wolf boy.
No, I wish. I pitched to be the guy who takes his shirt off at one point for no reason.
You love to take your shirt off.
I absolutely do.
Kind of like the Will Ferrell of this station.
Okay. But no, the show is I'm the only guy that looks like he could beat up another guy in all of theater in Utah. So
they're all pale, vegetarian.
Yeah, and thin. We had plenty of people who could play the vampire type, but not very many who could play the bully. I'll guilt you guys into that show another time.
I'm a shed vampire.
I'm the only one who goes to your plays anymore.
Oh, I went.
Oh, yeah, you did.
And Gina may come to this one because it's a Twilight spoof.
Yeah.
Maybe.
And we all know Gina loves Twilight.
The sparkly vampires.
Yeah. We got this.
Are you going to sparkle?
I don't sparkle because I'm not a vampire.
He's a bully.
But
we do have a sparkly vampire. You bet. And a Bela Lugosi vampire too.
Undead.
So like, there's this old-fashioned vampire.
Don't worry about
trying to figure out what the young vampires are.
I don't understand this. You kids today.
I don't understand this. And you're fast running.
What is this? You can go outside.
What? Yeah. What? Can you see yourself in the mirror? That's what I want.
Look, have some wine. All right.
Guess we just sort of wrote the play, didn't we?
Is that it?
Wrote and ended.
And performed.
There you go. Kids, there's something the matter with kids today. Kids, they go and sparkle outside in the day.
There it is. Yep, little musical number. Yep.
Easy.
Desert Star Playhouse. Be there.
The shut'll come out tomorrow, and he'll be able to stand outside. I hate him. I miss the sun.
Oh,
Lord. You owe Carrie money now.
I know. I used to be tan. You know this. I had a house in Palm Beach. Aw, damn. Blow this. No, that doesn't.
I'll get there.
Here comes the sun. You better run, you dumb old vampire.
We get
deedle.
We sparkle. Da 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 da. Ah, you kids.
I like the dessert bar there at the Desert Star Playhouse.
Does the old vampire carry an umbrella? He should.
No, but that is a great idea.
Okay. You owe me a dollar.
There's
and,
that
and
too.
Count
Oh,
Chocula.
yes, Count Chocula
Count
has to be in
Chocula's
there.
got to be there, and the Count, and
Doo.
oh, that joke's in there. You know it.
Yep.
Alternative music all day. X96.
All right, it's time to award Boner of the Day.
And Boner of the Day brought to you in part by that delicious ethnic dish that I can't remember what country it was from.
And the Utah State Fair. We gave State Fair tickets, I believe, a family 4-pack away to a random Boner voter.
Okay. So we had Boner candidate number 1. Stop, I did nothing wrong. The University of Utah nurse who was simply following the law, really, protecting a patient. The police wanted to take a blood sample from this unconscious patient. The patient was not under arrest, and the nurse said, no, you can't do it unless you have a warrant or this patient is awake to consent. And the police said, well, then we're arresting you. Apparently on the advice of a watch commander or desk sergeant or something that they had on the phone. But, yeah. And they handcuffed her and dragged her to the car.
They were really intimidating
It's
her.
upsetting video.
Yeah.
And then Boner candidate number 2, well, we picked the wrong bar to rob. 2 would-be hapless robbers in Maryland go into a bar to rob the cash register, and what they stumble into is a retirement party for police officers. The winner, by an enormous margin of votes, Boner candidate number 1, Stop, I did nothing wrong, the nurse.
There you go.
And,
so that is now the Boner of the Day, and that will go into contention for Boner of the Week coming up in our next segment. Stand by for that.
So we got it's September, of course.
September.
First day of September.
Yeah, and I can give you a question for a Led Zeppelin quiz if you want.
Well, I thought we were going to
What are we doing here?
Carrie went to the movie.
Oh yeah, he went to see the. I talked to him right after the movies, so I already know how he. He went to see the War
for the Planet of the Apes.
Planet of the Apes. Yeah.
And I'm such a bad geek that I didn't get out to see it when it opened, because I love Planet of the Apes. I love these new movies. I love the old movies.
Everything about it.
Everything about it. I just love it, and I was well pleased. Just give Andy Serkis an Oscar already. I mean, seriously.
You know who was great in it was the orangutan.
Maurice.
Maurice. Yeah.
Yes.
Who plays Maurice?
Can't remember.
An orangutan.
Can't remember the actor's name.
It's not a real orangutan, Bill.
Yes, it is. Those are real apes, and they're great. I don't know how they trained them to talk and act that well, but they're great.
They're all good. And it's funny because somebody I know said, I don't know, there's a lot of talking. I'm like, yeah, it's called character development.
I thought that kind of more about this. There was a lot of. It seemed like there was a lot of talking in the second one.
Yeah, it's about character development.
This says Maurice is a woman.
Played by a woman?
Yeah.
Because it was a guy's voice when it spoke, finally.
Karen Carnival.
Okay.
It was very nurturing.
He was. He was very nurturing.
And Steve Zahn is the bad ape? Bad ape.
That's his name, Bad Ape.
Oh, well,
he got his name because he was in a zoo, and they would always say to him, Bad Ape. So that became his name.
That's too bad.
Oh, he's such a funny but tragic figure at the same time. But, so good. Just so good. And so many Easter eggs throughout the movie that kind of gave nod to the original Apes movies. All of the humans that were under Woody Harrelson's command, they all had Alpha and Omega, the symbols for Alpha and Omega, on them somewhere, either on a helmet and then they would burn it like a brand onto some of the apes that were working for them. Ooh. They had apes on their side too. And they would put the Alpha and Omega. And the Alpha and Omega is a callback to the missile, the nuclear missile from the second Planet of the Apes movie. It had on its tail fins Alpha and Omega.
You said it
just
on the phone.
Tons of stuff like that.
You said it on the phone, and it's really true. Andy Serkis.
Just amazing.
Who plays the
Caesar.
Caesar should get a...
Wait a minute. You talked on the phone yesterday? What were you guys talking about? You didn't call me yesterday.
No, I didn't. I had something I needed to discuss with Carrie. We discussed it.
What, are you talking about me behind my back?
No. You know, I thought the weak link of that movie, if there is one, was Woody Harrelson.
Oh, I thought he was fine.
But he was kind of a little too Marlon Brando, you know.
Well, it's hard not to make that
at
comparison.
The end of the river, you know.
Because it was like a travel up the river to kill a crazy person. And he was bald, and he was a military man. So it's if you hadn't seen Apocalypse Now, that probably wouldn't be such a...
That's true, if you didn't know that character
thing,
in that movie. But he seemed to be almost channeling that, too.
In a way, because he had his own issues, his own mental illnesses. And
yeah.
I think you're awfully dismissive of this phone call. You're just trying to get past it.
What phone call are you talking about?
The one you called Carrie, and you...
Yeah, I called Carrie, and we just had a very short discussion. I think he was in the car.
I was, yes.
I had texted him, says, call me when you get out of the movie. I have to run something by you really quick.
You don't want to run it by me?
It's already done.
Why didn't you want to run it by me?
It wasn't necessary.
I can have things run by me.
You have things run over you, but not by you.
Your kids run by you.
My kids run by me, yeah.
I mean, it was not worth involving you in.
But you enjoyed what it was.
Which was what?
I just, if you, for some reason you have to know, I called him and said, I have 3 different ideas about how to do the September. This idea, or this idea. And Carrie liked the one
Z
we did.
word. Z word.
What were the other ideas?
I don't know, but then at the end of the call, I said, don't you think Gina's a bitch?
I knew it.
See, yeah.
I knew
so
it.
that's why you want to know about this, because that's really what
knew
happened. No, I had a couple of other ideas, and I just took it was a 3-minute phone call.
You were doing show prep. I don't do show prep, so you're right.
No, that's but I promise you, next time, Gina, that if Bill ever calls me, I won't call you back, but I will send you flowers. Proflowers.com. No, I'm getting applause for that one in the next room. Proflowers.com. It's a great deal. You don't need a reason to send flowers just because you're thinking about somebody is a good enough reason right there. And I love ProFlowers. Well, let me tell you about the bouquet that I always send in these sort of situations. The for no reason at all, just sending you flowers. It's the rainbow roses. They're always perfect, and I love the purple ones. You're going to get 20% off any of their unique summer rose bouquets or any other bouquet. You don't have to stick with the roses if you don't like. $29 or more. ProFlowers bouquets guaranteed to stay fresh for at least 7 days or your money back, and you control the delivery date. So it's more bloom for your buck. It's just, for no reason at all. Surprise somebody with the roses. Get 20% off of the summer roses or any other bouquet of $29 or more. Go to the proflowers.com website, proflowers.com. Use the code X96 at checkout. That's proflowers.com and the code X96. Don't wait to make somebody's day.
Utah was founded by pioneers and alternative music in Utah.
I like your shirt, by the way. New shirt?
No.
What?
Old shirt.
You never wear it, though.
No, I don't.
Why not?
I don't know.
It's a nice shirt.
I don't wear it very often.
Well, you should.
Okay. Great.
I gave you a compliment.
Then maybe I will. I will wear it as often as I ever do, which is not often. It's a shirt that I bought. I remember exactly when I bought this shirt. It's when there was an Old Navy over here on 4th South.
Mm-hmm.
Over there
Where
on
Trader
4th South.
Joe's is going to be.
Yeah. There was an Old Navy there, and I went in there one day, and they had this big pile of shirts on the floor. I'm not kidding, as Old Navy does sometimes. And they said all of the shirts in this pile are $1.20. I'm not kidding. $1.20, and I thought this shirt being $1.20, that's a negative money.
Yeah, it costs more than that to.
Yeah, there's more material in this shirt. There's more little, Vietnamese or Singaporean child finger blood in this shirt from sewing the buttons on. And so I bought it for $1.20 off the floor at the Old Navy.
You would not think that.
It's not. It's just a dumb shirt.
You should have kept the receipt in the pocket. My sister bought a coat
But we
once.
never do a 120 time check, Gina. So.
My sister bought a coat once that was on sale, and it ended up being $7, and she kept the receipt in the pocket so that anytime anybody said, I like that coat.
Her sister, Minnie Pearl.
No, Mikkel.
Just to prove.
I like that coat. She'd say, $7. No, it's not. I have the receipt.
That's
She kept it in the pocket.
right there. Right
$7 coat.
That is the see again. That's the kind of thing that the Barbary girls are interested in.
$7? I don't believe that was $7.
But you could have a debate with some other people about the political situation in Tibet or the existence of God. But when you're debating with the Barbary girls, it's whether Bill Murray is going to go crashing parties and how much the coat cost. Is she the good-looking one?
They are all good-looking.
No, they are not.
Yes, they are. All of my sisters are good-looking.
Lolita! Certainly not. All right, let's get this over with.
One is better looking than the others.
No, they are all good-looking.
It's that one that's really good-looking, and then there's there's an okay one, and then there's that other one.
I get phone calls every time you do this.
Which one is he talking about?
They know.
Yeah, they know. I'm surprised they call. All they have to do is look in the mirror.
Yeah,
all they have to do is look at a family photo, Gina. They'll all point to the good-looking one.
All the Barbary girls know. They know who the good-looking one is. It's true.
So we're not making these things up.
Here's the other two observations about going to a movie on a Thursday at 1 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It was great that it was me and maybe two other guys in the theater, and they sat toward the back. So that was great.
Mm-hmm.
But I noticed in the lobby that there weren't like people who were there with anybody. Everybody
alone?
there was
Singles.
alone.
Do you know-
They were all
Do you know what
singles.
they are? Those are people that are lying to their spouse and saying they're going to work.
I thought about that.
Carrie wasn't.
And I thought, maybe they're unemployed. I don't know. But maybe some of them are hiding from their spouse. Maybe some, it was really interesting.
Some of them might be psycho killers.
And then the other thing is I was really good about being on time because it started at 1:15. I wanted to get there on time, which I didn't really need to.
No.
Because no kidding, 20 minutes. I looked at my watch. 20 minutes of commercials and previews. Don't get me wrong, I like the trailers. I do. But 20
See, I think that's part of the
minutes.
experience. I
I
like seeing the trailers.
But plus,
and
that's a long movie.
You
The
remember?
Planet of the
Yes,
Apes
it
movie.
is.
Yeah.
You remember in France, in Paris,
Mhm.
you go to a movie theater there, and they say the trailers, the previews start at this time.
Mhm.
Oh, they
and
tell
then the
you.
movie starts at
They
this
spell
time.
it out. Yeah.
Because if you don't want to see the trailers, because if you go to a lot of movies, you just see the same trailers over and over again. So
Mhm.
that's part of the reason they do that.
But and yes, Dave, to answer your question, I did cry a lot. There were many moments in that movie that were very touching.
So it was better that you were alone.
It was. But again, character development. Yeah, there's a lot of talking. They're not just monkeys, okay?
They're
damn dirty apes.
They're monkeys with hearts.
They are.
And backstories.
They have feelings. They do have backstories.
Yeah.
The whole motivation for Koba. I'm not going to get into this with you.
Boner of the week?
It's time for Boner of the Week.
All right, Dave, the flower guy, is here. Dave, did you cry during Planet or Battle for the? Yeah, did you sob out loud or did you muffle it and
Muffle it.
You muffled it.
Because there were a lot of people around.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, all right. So we always have Dave in here to select the Boner of the Week. These are your winners from this past week. Boner candidate number 1. Shut up and eat your carrots. Was this family here in Utah apparently forcing a young kid to eat carrots? You had to eat carrots all the time. If you don't eat your carrots, you won't get a regular meal. He ate so many carrots, his skin was starting to turn orange, and apparently they also kept him locked up in the basement a lot of the time. Boner candidate number 2 from Tuesday. So what, we'll call it DiMaggio Circle? That one won? Huh.
Yeah, we were surprised.
Yeah.
No, there was some weird voting.
That was
That's
a
right.
day I was questioning the voting practices.
It was weird voting this week.
So mainly this was a vote against for Joe Piscopo, who's a big idiot, and he's a big Columbus supporter, Christopher Columbus supporter. So what, should we take down the statue of Columbus in Columbus Circle? Boner candidate number 3 from Wednesday. And I thought professors were smart. This is a Florida University professor who was fired after he said that Hurricane Harvey was karma for Texas because it supported Donald Trump and voted Republican. Boner candidate number 4 from Thursday, the Christian Manifesto on Sexuality, a nationwide coalition of more than 150 conservative Christian leaders signing a statement saying that homosexual is immoral and sinful, and God made men and women, and that's the way it's supposed to be. And Boner candidate number 5 from today, stop, I did nothing wrong. The nurse up at the University Hospital, she was handcuffed by police. She was only doing her job by saying, you can't take blood from this unconscious patient. You don't have a warrant, and he's not under arrest, so I can't let you take blood. And the cops harassed her and handcuffed her and dragged her out to the car. So who was the winner, Dave?
Today's.
Yeah,
Today's, yes.
Good choice.
All right.
Good choice, Dave.
I thought you'd really go for the DiMaggio thing, but
Nobody should have gone for that one. Some guy from Washington that overvoted. Hi, John Smith.
Hi, kids.
How are you?
I watched that. I watched that video, the boner,
The nurse.
and it was really upsetting
Mhm.
for a number of reasons. The biggest of which was that officer's hair.
Well, we like the mustache.
It was terrible.
Wait a minute, you're telling me there was a police officer with a mustache?
Well, yeah, but he's got like the wicked bad, like 1980s cop show hair.
Yeah.
Well, you got to look the part.
Shame on you, sir. Shame on you.
Was the upshot of it? They did not arrest her or charge her with anything, so they just unhandcuff her and let her out of the car. At some point?
They were just trying to intimidate her into getting the blood sample.
That's gonna be a huge lawsuit.
Well, yeah, and we had texts from other nurses and paramedics who said that they've had the same thing happen to them.
Cops, it's hard because I'm the guy that stands up for cops so often.
Mm-hmm.
Well, a lot of cops in the family. I have a lot of cop friends, and it's just like.
My guess is most of them will say.
I'm sure the ones I've talked to, the cops that I've talked to, are like, dude, come on.
You're making it. No, it's true. Those few bad cops make it hard for all the rest of them.
And I say the same thing about Catholic priests.
Yes.
There are way more good Catholic priests out there than pedophile ones you hear about. But so they make it hard for everyone. It's the same thing with
nobody
cops.
wants to read a story about a priest doing a good job.
Right, or a cop doing a good job.
Nobody wants to read a news story about a cop pulling somebody over and giving a ticket.
There are way more good cops and way more good priests than bad ones.
Do Catholic priests typically have mustaches?
Not typically.
No, not like. So they're not like cops.
No.
Okay.
You see his hair? It was terrible.
I didn't.
Oh, look at it. It's awful.
I don't want to.
It's like bad abstract art.
I saw it briefly.
What do you have today, Mr.
I've got
Smith?
Lost 80s live tickets. I've got State Fair tickets. And we're going to be starting the Pioneers of Labor Day weekend.
When?
At 3 o'clock today.
At 3 on Todd's shift.
But I'm going to be sneaking some fun stuff.
I was going to say you should just do that.
Because I'm a little bummed that I didn't get to participate today, so I'm going to sneak some stuff.
Because the last time we did this, I really enjoyed it. So I'm looking forward to this.
I need the promo.
And that also means that there's no best of on Saturday.
Right.
It's just music.
It's all music, all 3 days.
Yeah, it's all.
You're
SLC
welcome.
Punks is off this week. IPO's off this week.
Which you're welcome for the no best of Radio from Hell on Saturday. You're welcome.
No, I talked to a guy a couple of weeks ago up at Snowbird, who said he loves listening to the best ofs on Saturday.
Well, you know my thought. How can they miss us if we won't go away?
Well, we're going to go away. I don't have the promo, so they need to send that to me because there we go.
All right.
I somehow deleted it.
Here we go.
Enjoy your Labor Day weekend.
We will be back on Tuesday.
Have a great time relaxing this weekend.
We will be back on Tuesday.
Take one last adventure.
And be back with us on Tuesday.
All right.
It's Radio from Hell X90.
Radio from Hell X, that wasn't in there.
Doesn't say that.
Okay. Well,
Here, tack this on there. Radio from Hell X96.
That doesn't sound exciting.
What day are you coming
Getting
back?
thumbs up.
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Radio from Hell X96.
You should come back.
All right. Live long and prosper, bitches.
Don't you know who I am?
Unsheath that salami.
John Smith is next.
Get to it.
A 1 hour nonstop music wingding starts now.
What do you think?
Utah's original alternative, X96.
Was that a good answer?
Give me a second, I need to get my story straight. My friends are in the bathroom getting higher than the Empire State. My lover, she's waiting for me just across the bar. My seat's been taken by some sunglasses, asking about a scar. And I know I gave it to you months ago. I know you're trying to forget, but between the drinks and subtle things, the holes in my apology